Hello and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm the executive producer here, John Bates, and I've got a few pre-show notes for you. First of all, I'd like to thank our $25 tier supporters, Antitonic, Waterflame, Samantha Bates, and Maureen Montee, without whom we wouldn't be able to do much, especially not all the content that we put forward now. I also want to thank all the people that have joined on with us since the, I would say, successful experiment that was Midsummer Night's Dream. If you're interested in that, go check out our YouTube channel, where youtube.com/Senstaku, where we performed the world's first, as far as we're aware, live stream production of a community theater performance of A Midsummer Night's Dream. That sounds like a lot of qualifiers. It's more just because that's the way I talk. Please go enjoy them, give us feedback, let us know if you'd like to see more of that in the future. If you'd like to support us financially, you can do so on our Patreon page at patreon.com/FSFilms. You can also follow us on Twitter at Final Show Films, or follow me personally at John A. Bates for all future updates and live notifications for our live stream. In the meantime, sit back, relax, enjoy.
Hello, everybody. I'm gonna not have Rudy's head be caught up over here. And welcome back to Untethered,
where we have the most professional recording setup.
the absolute most professional. Let me set up my green screen while I keep talking to you, audience.
This is not sketchy.
Did you turn all the mics on, by the way?
Yes,
Yes.
they're on.
Awesome. So they can even hear us.
You
That's
can't
even
hear me
better.
yet because this stupid thing is still off.
So,
Hello. Stay.
joining me this week, you'll notice that we do have a couple empty chairs. One of them is going to be filled tonight,
Maybe.
hopefully, presumably, by our best guesses. One of them will not be, as far as I know.
Well, actually, the chair won't be filled. The couch will be.
A chair is just another kind of... a couch is just another kind of chair. Just longer and fluffier.
Whatever.
And you can
So-
and you can lay on it.
Joining
you can
us
lay on a
tonight
chair, too. It's just
on
not
the
comfortable.
couch is...
You.
Why?
She's eating.
Ruin my mouth. Hi, I'm Holly.
We timed this.
We're
really well.
professionals.
I'm playing Tyrell. She's a Verbana thing. And a dance instructor. And totally stable.
we questioned that.
I don't think there's any definition of the word you could use that would apply here, actually.
Stable. She doesn't do anything.
She's not a horse.
Predictable
She's not an equestrian, in other words.
All right. And sitting on my immediate right...
That would be me. And I'm trying to play Duncan. Yeah. That's what I'm going to try to do.
And on Duncan's right...
Hey, I'm Zach, and I'm playing Dr. David Tarasu, the doctor. Yeah.
Shock! Surprise. And on Dr. Dave's right...
Hey, I'm Rudy. I'll be playing Skylar Torres, the detective of the crew.
All right. And when we left, there was going to be a meeting between two of our party, Akuma and Skylar, with the local sheriff, who, as he does, just wandered into a gang hideout and was like, hey, I'm just going to sit in on your meeting, like I do. And Torel was just hanging out with her son, having a good old time, and has absolutely no cryptic information in her knowledge that the rest of you don't know at all. Dave was at work, right? Or during the day?
No, because
I mean, I was at work at the beginning, then I talked to that guy, then we all went to the mountain.
Right. You're at the mountain, and Duncan, you're at the mountain.
yes, I'm headed. Yeah.
And you've created a thing.
The most thingy of things.
So, let's go ahead and start with that thing.
Yeah.
What? Wind it up and give it a kick.
So, you created your little ritual circle to cast this spell. And you now have...
I forget if we got 21 or 22 successes.
21.
You had a lot of successes.
It was enough.
You now have
Hopefully
a
enough.
quasi-sentient, basically hand drill with an oversized boring head.
That my senses are linked to slightly.
Yes, that you have some sort of strange, like, tremor sense through.
Cool.
It feels really weird because you're holding it and you can feel it in your hand and you can feel your hand through it.
But I can also feel it through my hand.
Yes. You're holding a drill and it feels like you're holding your own hand, but it also feels like you're holding a drill.
And if I hold it in two hands, it's like I'm holding my hands in my hands.
It's an unusual experience, to say the least.
Just put it down and give it a kick.
So, what do you do?
We're gonna aim it toward the middle, like.
I mean, I guess let her rip. I mean...
Yeah?
Toward the center, and then just kind of have bore down and see if it's somewhere in that center shaft.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do would be to... Essentially, the way that we would hope to run this thing is... From our scannings, were there any particular good concentrations of caves, or is it pretty much
They're
just
pretty
random?
spread out, yeah.
It should be random.
So the best thing to do would be probably send it to go down a little bit and to the center. Then it'll scan through the center and basically
Do an outward spiral.
the best thing to
up and
do would
down,
be,
like a up and down.
hey, this
Go.
this is my like detached limb you're talking about here. I get to choose how this goes. So
I pull my knife out and start doing mumbly peg.
So, probably want to, go around the center of it, because if you were intentionally hiding it, the center is probably a good place as any. Then, just make it run circles, just up, and then larger circles go down, then larger circles go up, then larger circles go down. So, it basically spreads across the whole
coming
thing.
out and up. And
All right. You press it into the side of the mountain, and it begins drilling. And it's kind of loud.
I imagine we'd want to start that in a cave.
Well, I can do a silence on it.
Because do you have forces?
I have forces. I have
Forces would probably
forces.
be best for doing
Yeah,
that sort of
forces.
thing.
changing. Yeah, right. Okay.
Okay.
So
Roll me your spellcasting.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
And I'll also try to pay it.
Difficulty 6.
Just for that, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a little Mighty Morphin Power Ranger type maneuver,
Alright, do a little dance.
and 6, 2, 4, 5. 5 successes.
Yep, this thing is sure quiet.
Better be.
Cool. I'm going to see how far does it have to go into the rock before I just can't hear it at all.
Can't hear it now.
You can't hear it in your hand
Oh, nice.
because he silenced it.
I just went and
Okay, so you just totally
I
silent.
just,
Nice.
it's totally
Nice.
It's mute.
it has a little aura of deafening.
All right.
Pardon me.
I guess we'll just let this thing start going then.
Alright, it starts going.
Awesome.
Are we there yet?
I think we're kind of there. Now.
There's lots of rock around you. Alright, it's noon. What are you doing?
I guess I gotta go back.
I kind of haven't gone to sleep last night, so you know what? I
Yeah, you
think
need to
now would
get
be a
some
good
sleep.
time for a nap.
I'm gonna swing by the office and see if anybody's died yet or something.
You swing by. Nothing.
Everything's still going.
They're in the building phases. Like the plan's been drawn up.
Right.
You worked a lot of overtime during the planning phase,
Yeah.
and you're probably going to work a lot of overtime during the.
Set up
During
the
the setup
connection
phase.
and yeah.
Right now, it's like, yep, those sure are wires. Yep, those
That's
sure
all I
connect
care.
cameras.
That's all I care.
Yep, this is sure a sturdy wall that you can't just break through with a hammer.
Did Elizabeth show up?
No.
I want to talk to some people.
All right.
Just arbitrarily.
Anyone in particular, or just like general security people?
Just anyone that might usually work with her or near her or something.
Okay. She typically works the evening to like early morning shift.
Okay.
Generally, the busiest time for a casino.
Right.
So she gets in at 6, and she leaves at 2 a.m.
So I'll have to swing by later. It'd probably be easier.
You could go stalk the underage girl again.
That was pretty eventful, wasn't it?
But yeah, she's already called out for the day.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Just want to make. Yeah. I got to get somebody with mind to go over there and check, see if she's being manipulated or something.
Well, see, do you know anybody with mind?
Yeah, I do. I do, but I can't get a hold of him right now. He's asleep. That's what he said he was going to do.
I mean, considering I was awake all night and now
Yes,
my
I know.
senses have been...
Link to a
How-
drill.
Jarring?
Yeah. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, you've kind of relegated it to the back of your mind by, like, after about 20, 30 minutes. But it's just sort of it's a weird, vague awareness.
Mm-hmm. And I'm guessing, like, if I end up hitting some kind of an open spot, it just kind of jars the back of my mind a little or something.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's sort of like, imagine your phone was just always vibrating in your pocket.
Yee. Fun.
And then every once in a while, it'll ring.
Fun.
Okay.
Alright. So you're napping.
I have all sorts of weird sensations in the back of my mind.
I see.
So you're going to see if you can ask around. Because there are some people who have some crossover who would work with Elizabeth. So you're going to...
I might just kind of, while I'm there, just see if anybody essentially just knows if she said anything to anybody about being out.
Alright.
Pardon the expression.
Let's see. What are our... So that's going to be charisma and...
Whoops.
I don't know. What skill do you think would be appropriate for here?
How about... Shoot.
Do you have any
I can't
skills that
find
would be
it.
appropriate for here?
Skills?
Skills, talents, or knowledge?
The only thing I really put into things was like manipulation and threatening stuff.
I don't think you're trying to threaten
No,
them.
I can't. Yeah, I'm
I would not advise intimidating your coworkers.
Like etiquette, leadership.
No,
You could even use. I could even see you trying to
No.
use research, but not really.
no, I don't really have much.
All right, just roll me your charisma and a
Excellent.
-1 penalty.
Okay, I don't make any.
That's a one. You minimum 1 die.
Oh,
You can all you
you minimum one die.
you can either botch or succeed. What we're saying.
That's true too.
Hey,
Succeed.
succeed. 7 was enough.
Okay.
You're not getting a ton of information, but again, this
I
is just
figured
sort
she
of.
didn't talk to anybody.
Yeah, she hasn't
doesn't
talked to
usually do that
anybody.
anyway.
It's
That's the
sort
problem.
of weird. No one really knows where she lives, and no one's from that area. There's even a couple people who are, who live in the general Carolinian district,
Yeah.
and to the best of their knowledge, she doesn't live in that district. I mean, yeah, again, it's not like it's not like it's segregated. It's just sort of cultural districts.
Yeah.
So it's not surprising that she doesn't live there. It's just no, she doesn't live in the district that's traditionally that culture.
Okay. Well, I will deal with things later.
She doesn't make friends at work.
Yeah, I knew that.
So that's going to be your
I've been
early
doing that for
afternoon
a while, yeah.
activity.
Sure.
All right. So your early afternoon is that. You're taking a nap. Let's flip over to the gang base.
Yes, I have a conversation to have.
Yes. So it's noon. All your gang members are there, and just sitting casually in the corner of a room is the sheriff. Just he's leaning back in a chair in that professionally casual way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, he's obviously at ease, but he's still professional. He's not just lounging. What about you, Skylar? How are you feeling as a police investigator standing in a gang hideout, getting a lot of stink eye? I'm sure.
A bit weird.
Okay.
It's not the norm.
Are you over closer with the sheriff, or are you more in the middle of the room?
I'm kind of more in the middle.
Just
Confused.
sitting there being like, I don't know why I'm here. This is not normal procedure.
Nope.
All right. Everyone's here? Good. Dragons, it's come to my attention that the cutters have started to become more of a thorn in the sides of the police force than they are willing to put up with, I say, looking over at Urine. So,
Acknowledges you.
So, it's time to step up our game. Because as it turns out, there's nothing quite like some sanctioned gang violence.
Yara gives a quick smile to that.
Unofficially sanctioned.
Well, we can't really officially sanction anything to do with a gang now, can we, Skylar?
Exactly.
But it's good to know the police won't be sticking their noses too deeply in our business as long as we're taking the Cutter's business out.
In fact, we can do some redirection, draw attention. I'm certainly not going to get my men in any firefights here. But we can discourage and redirect where we need to.
And I know a lot of you have had some significant grudges with the Cutters in the past.
There's a general murmur of the agreement,
Well, notably,
cursing the Cutters.
Notably, a lot of the Black Dragon recruits are like Akuma, people who have been liberated from the human trafficking ring. A lot of which the Cutters had a hand in.
Yeah. There are not polite things said.
And I've just been informed by my lieutenant that we have a few new toys at our disposal. Things that will make it a little bit easier to make significant disruption to Cutter operations.
If you plan on using dynamite in an urban area, I will have to step in.
Controlled explosions, sure. You won't be bringing any buildings down.
Better hope that your control is as good as you think it is.
Actually, it's
Trust
quite
me,
good.
Actually, my control is some of the best.
Why do you think I'm unofficially sanctioning your gang violence?
Exactly. Just trust in my operation, sure.
I can respect you. It doesn't mean I have to trust you.
I don't have to trust you either, so we're on the same page.
Good.
Now then.
I would like to point out, by the way, that dynamite was never mentioned around Yaren
Yeah,
at all.
He knows. Somehow.
Just-
He knows all.
he's got feelers. He's also probably got mind magic, so
If he's a mage.
but operations will proceed as planned. I want casual scouts moving around the clock. Run shifts with your companions. We need to know everything that we can about the Cutter's operations. We need to know where their business is moving. When people, especially, are moving, anything to do with their trafficking, I want eyes and ears all over it. We won't be putting dynamite in those operations, obviously, but a few explosions in a Cutter armory can redirect enough forces for us to get our brothers and sisters still in bondage out of bondage while soldiers are responding to explosions.
Also, Fuyuko, I have expanded the bug I've got on your computer, so you'll be able to access more police radio waves, at least the ones I want you to. Stinger looks over at him, kind of confused. Oh, please, don't tell me you are very good at what you do. Don't get me wrong. But I can't just let you know everything. Stinger looks sort of hurt.
Don't worry, Stinger. We'll take care of everything. But it's going to be hit-and-run operations. We're going to harass the Cutters as much as we can, pull forces away from wherever we're going to really be striking. If we need to liberate some of our brothers and sisters in bondage, we'll make a bit of a fuss at one of their drug pushes. If we're going to take some of their drugs out, we'll hit one of their armories very lightly. We're going to pull cutter forces away from wherever we're going to strike, so their numbers can't be used to their advantage.
You would also do well to avoid trying to face directly where Rasputin, says Yeren annoyedly.
You can just call him Raz. It annoys him, trust me.
Well, I'd rather call him Dai Chi.
Except
But
no
no one
one
else
going
will
to
recognize
recognize
that.
that name.
Yes.
But wherever old Raz is moving, that's where my attention's going to be focused, he says to the rest of the group. Everyone, if you get eyes on Raz, let me know. I will move in to intercept if anything starts to get hot. Otherwise, avoid if you can.
And if he's too far away, he says, he types in a number. Everybody's phone simultaneously dings. You can text that number. That's mine.
I know you're all uncomfortable having the sheriff's number on your phones, but we're in this, at the moment, together.
There's very confused response from the group.
I can roll leadership if you want me to.
Yes, why don't you roll me some appearance leadership?
Manipulation leadership or appearance leadership?
This is appearance. You're trying to give the appearance that you're not at all bothered by the fact that the sheriff has the personal cell numbers of every member of your gang.
Yeah. Well, I'm giving that off real well. What difficulty are we looking for?
7.
Okay. 4, 5, 6. Wait, one more. 6.
They seem confused, but Yeren is very, again, he's very professional. There's nothing unprofessional about him, but he's very casual. He's very at ease. He's very disarming. And so as off the cuff as these comments are, between that and your extreme confidence in what's going on, they seem to settle down fairly quickly.
As it stands, this might be a moment to step up for the Black Dragons as a whole. I think even our sheriff can agree that we are far from the worst people in the underground on Saipan.
Given the choices of two evils, I'll take the lesser.
And I think, ultimately, this is a chance for the Black Dragons to do a lot of good for the people that the higher-ups and the police seem to keep forgetting. The
Yes,
people who live
unfortunately,
under the
I'm only one person.
Mm-hmm. You could have fooled me. But you've all got the initial outline. If you need more details, speak to me or speak to Hozuki. Any further questions?
They seem to get the basics of it, and they're very emboldened by your confidence.
All right. Operations start tonight at sundown. Everyone get ready, get armed. If you're running distractions, grab some dynamite. Remember, controlled explosions, no structural damage.
I need to speak with the two of you, he says, pointing at Skylar and you, Akuma.
All right.
In private.
Rest of you are dismissed. Get going.
I presume you have a private part of this bunker.
Follow me.
He stands up, brushes himself off, and follows.
I walk over to what looks to be just some shipping crates that have been set up as a wall and kind of push aside some of the facade and grab a lever, pull it open. The side of the wall panel kind of slides out. After you.
Thank you. He steps through. What about you, Skylar?
I follow.
Okay.
Step through, pull the panel closed behind us, and it's a relatively small but definitely soundproofed room, which also has a crate of dynamite in it and several guns that are being stored.
So it's just the three of you in the room.
Yep.
He looks to you. All right. Two of you gave me some sort of indication that you've met before, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How much of the details do I need to know?
At the moment, all you need to know is the two of us are working with a larger group of individuals in stopping something that is even more dangerous, perhaps, than the cutters.
Is that why you took the mental barrier down off the mountain?
Glad someone else spotted that.
It's not hard.
No, it isn't, is it?
It's not a big island.
But there's something buried in that mountain that a particularly powerful and dangerous magic user is putting all of her focus into finding.
I see.
You know the Dark Horse?
That's an interesting question.
Well, we found a little bit of why they're so difficult to track down. Because they're not gang members. They're people that her particular mental prowess has working under her whim, and when she's done with them, they don't need to remember any of it. Or they have a heart attack and die.
I've had strong suspicions that the Dark Horse doesn't exist as a gang myself. It is indeed a single person who is using innocent bystanders. I think we can all establish what we are, correct?
Oh, there's a lot that we are, but
Really? And what is that?
things that are currently likely beyond your comprehension. And I mean that in the most flattering way.
Interesting.
But yes, we're all awakened here.
I see, he says, pointing at where you would be wearing a dog tag under your shirt.
Yeah.
That you're protected.
Some awakened in this city have been putting things together to try and turn aside the mental magics of Esmeen is the name.
I beg your pardon. What name did you say?
Esmeen.
When you said that there was more than you thought I could comprehend.
Oh, this is interesting.
Which fool do you align yourself with?
Have you been to the wood between the worlds?
Which fool do you align yourself with? Or are you independent?
At the moment, the group's allegiance sits with the diamonds. Be aware, of course, that ultimately many of us serve ourselves.
Elrin, altruistic, but rash.
I can agree with that.
Not a big fan of his methodology either. He's not much of a leader,
He can be aggravating at times, yes.
but he knows far more than he should. And then has Esmeen aligned herself with the Chaos Lotus.
So it would seem.
Surprising.
She seems, from what I've gathered, a little bit more independent than most, but
She holds no love for the Ethivores.
using them to her own ends then. Something I can appreciate.
Yes, but playing with powers like that is dangerous.
There's a reason I'm not working with the Chaos Lotus.
Good. In the meantime, we do have a world to save.
Several.
I know that there are grander scales, but realize that the people here are people in this world. Don't be abandoning one world just to try to save them all. It doesn't do anyone any good.
You don't know my story.
No, I don't. But I give the word of caution to everyone. Now, you said that you would want to focus on where he is going to be.
Yes.
Daichi.
If I can take Raz off the table, that brings the cutters down by
You
a
can't.
significant amount.
Not by yourself.
You intending to help me out?
Surely you have other allies.
I do.
There's one thing I've learned about the Untethered.
We work
They
in
attract
groups.
each other,
Yes.
especially if you're part of the Diamonds. Who have you got with you?
There's at least 6 of our number at the moment. A couple more are on the plane, but not as active.
6. I
Counting
see
Skylar.
Elrin has doubled his number since last I checked in with him.
All 6 of us conveniently came from the same home place.
That's almost unheard of.
Almost. Well, you've
Well.
heard of it now.
Yes, that's why it's almost unheard of. You're all from the same plane.
The one that Pyro is currently starting to try and eat.
Ah, yes, the Ethivore of Flame and... what is his emotion? Horror? Fear?
If I had to guess, it would either be fear or hate.
No, Ethivores of Hatred are a unique lot. Perhaps you don't know what I speak of. Ethivores are all associated with an emotion. They feed off of it. Thrive on it. From what I understand, this Pyro feeds off of terror. The stronger the terror, the more he feeds.
That makes sense.
But there are others. There's an entire world full of Ethivores that all feed off of madness.
Yes, that was one of our potential targets to reach out towards for other ways of sealing Ethivores away.
Well, you better be careful, because they are sealed away, and I'd rather not anyone play with the bonds too much. The world lives on the brink as it is.
Unfortunately, they've already managed to shift Pyro into the world that we hail from. So if we don't start getting tools to seal Ethivores away or deal with them on a more permanent basis, then the world we come from is going to be consumed in flame, and we're not going to let that happen.
Alright. I understand your motive. Did everyone tell you the other catch about Ethivores?
There's many catches from what I assume, but I feel like
Yes.
there's probably some...
But you look like a man who has confidence. Perchance at times too much. You're not immortal. No matter what Elrin will tell you. If an Ethivore kills you,
I die.
yes.
I can
But that's
do
not
that.
the only way. There are other tools that will end you. Beware the clockmaker.
Darn.
Gee.
At the moment, he's helping. I don't trust him to
I
keep
would
doing
end that relationship immediately.
Unfortunately, that's not my say. And at the moment, he's helping. I don't trust him to keep doing that forever. But...
Right. Well, you said there are 6 of you?
Mm,
I'd like to meet with you all this evening.
I can try and arrange that.
What's the famous quote? Do or do not. There is no try.
Unfortunately, as both of us know, there's a lot of try.
Very trying,
Really?
isn't he?
I thought you only know do.
Dough, actually.
That would be what I was insinuating.
The original way is not something to make a joke of. You and someone who isn't traditionally trained in it knows that.
I think that the followers, the traditional followers of Do, all have their heads far too high up in the clouds. And they need to learn to
The clouds
live
is
and laugh.
certainly the clouds is certainly a term. I would go for their own asses, but
So we can agree on that at least.
the rest of the Akashic Brotherhood are useless.
I mean, they have their purpose. What about your trainer?
What trainer?
Interesting. That is a new one.
Something you'll learn about me is if there is knowledge that I desire, there is not much that will stop me from attaining it.
Good to know.
Backstory.
Well, How about you, Skylar? What do you think of all this?
Anything in particular? Just the whole scenario in general?
Yes. Cordo likes to talk. That's what he does. He's a leader. Leaders like to prattle on. You're a man of action. You just do what needs to be done.
Yeah, that would describe me pretty well. I just want to save the world that we're from.
Good.
And I do hope to not cause too much trouble in the other worlds, but...
Well, one thing I haven't figured out yet is whether trouble follows the untethered or untethered are drawn to trouble. But one way or another, they're always in the same place at the same time.
Oh, worth noting. I've slightly miscounted. There's actually 7 or 8 of us. But the final 2 are not currently... One's not currently awake. I don't know about the other one, but the other one is not currently a combatant.
Why not?
He's 5,
10.
10 right now.
Really bad with the age of my child.
10? And untethered it. That is also...
He's also not an awakened. He's a werewolf, apparently.
Fair fox.
There you go.
We haven't had any...
Lycanthrope.
I'm trying to remember the world of darkness
Shifters.
word. No. There haven't been any pharaohs on Saipan before. There are a lot where I'm from, though.
There's one now.
Well, where I'm from, there are a lot. And they're a good lot.
Where do you come from?
Yes, I do pretty well at covering up the accent. Ireland.
Irish werewolves. Interesting.
Yes. Drunken debauchery. But good hearts. I suppose, though, that describes most of my familial relations. So, we're here now.
And as I said, the other one is not awakened yet. My lieutenant.
Rational enough. So, don't go telling her the secrets of the multiverse.
No, not until she's woken to them.
Well, perchance that will happen in the next few days. Well, enact your plans, get your rest. I look forward to meeting all of you tonight. Ah, yes. I do hate the Royal Grand Casino. Just come by my house. It's private enough.
An invitation to the sheriff's house. That's either a trap or you're putting a lot of faith in me.
It's not so grandiose as you expect.
Just remember the collateral damage doesn't help either of us. So we don't want to come to blows.
Oh, when I come to blows, it's very precise.
When I do, it's not.
I would make it.
This is going to work out fine.
Well. Afternoon. Come, Skylar. I believe that it's best for you to be out of here by the time I leave.
Yeah, once they start moving dynamite, we don't need police witnesses.
Yes. He walks out the door.
Let's see her around. Come on. Hi, Bella.
You all head out, and let's head over to Torel. So, you're sitting down at a small local eatery with your son, with all the knowledge that you have.
Okay, I have the...
You have, yes.
Okay. Okay, well, when we finish up, she's gonna take Kai to Tarns.
You open the door. Tarn is.
You're not going to agree with anything that happens here, exactly.
It's going to be fantastic.
Have I agreed with anything you've done at all so far?
No.
You open the door. Tarn is standing behind the counter. He's shaping what looks to be diamond. He's putting them into the second hand of a watch at the top end of it. Ah, Terrell, Kai. Everything going well with you today?
Yes. I have an errand to run. Could Kai spend a little time here?
Most certainly. Come, Kai. I can teach you some more of those things I promised. He pulls out a notebook of origami paper.
Alright.
Until you leave.
Best of luck with your ventures.
Then he starts murdering. Alright,
Of all the crazy uncle figures, Tarn!
does she know, where to go
Oh yeah.
for this? Okay. Okay, she will
Alright.
go.
It's actually not far. You just have to walk into the government area. Do you walk or drive? It's like a 10-minute walk.
She'll probably drive.
Okay. It still takes you 10 minutes because traffic, but...
Yeah.
You drive up to the post office. What do you do?
She's got the number of the box and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, she'll use her key to open it.
You walk up, you walk in, you find...
We didn't leave the key with her, did we? Didn't we leave it with Gallagher?
You did.
Yeah.
She has.
She stole it from Gallagher.
I'm not a thief.
You open the P.O. box, and inside is a book
Okay.
on ethivores and their weaknesses.
Is there anything else inside?
No?
She'll open the book and is...
As you open the book, roll me a willpower check.
That's your weakness.
What is my target number?
6.
Always
It's an
six.
opposed roll.
Six successes.
Alright. Right. Nothing happens.
Okay.
You open the book.
But you can tell.
The first few pages of the book seem to entail the fact about ethivores, and it tells you about how they feed off of emotions, their existence. It even delves a little bit into... It starts to delve into their history, and then after the first 3 pages, the rest of the book is blank. And there's a note embedded in that says, a teaser. It written in that same beautiful writing.
Mm-hmm. And nothing else?
Nothing else.
Okay. She'll take it with her.
Alright. You have the book.
Yep.
What do you do?
I mean, if nothing else happens, she'll just go back and get Kai and
Okay.
go back to her place.
As you walk in, there's a sign that says, on lunch we'll be back at 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So,
She'll go in.
you go in, you go upstairs.
Yes.
Alright, as you go upstairs, you see that Kai has a small origami swan flying around the room that he is excitedly, chasing after.
Okay.
Ah! Back so soon.
Yes.
I hope everything went well.
It did, I believe.
Where have you got the book, by the way? Do you leave it in your car, or do you have it on you?
Oh no, she's got it on her. She, She has like a lightweight jacket that she usually wears, and she's got like slipped in her pocket.
Okay. To clarify, it's a really, really old-looking book, like classic leather-bound stuff, handwritten, all that whatnot. Okay. All right, Kai. Don't worry. I will be able to teach you more later. Kai looks disappointed as he turns, and you see like the swan turns too, and its head sort of droops.
Aww.
Just showing him how to use his potential.
It's fine.
Good.
Should take him home.
All right.
What? Mother of the Year.
It's an origami swan, not like it's a weapon.
just flying around the room.
Yet. And also, I would consider it a weapon, considering, it may well cause people's minds to implode.
Later.
I would like to clarify that Kai was the one making it fly.
And that would indeed be some vulgar magic, so it could cause his mind to implode. So, yes. My point still stands.
So, Kitsune magic works slightly differently. They don't accrue paradox the way that normal people do.
Only mages accrue paradox.
Yeah, only mages accrue paradox.
I think that's worse.
Because mages bend the laws of reality, and which is why they're able to do so many very different effects. The powers of other supernatural creatures are set rules. They don't have as much variety, but they also don't accrue paradox in exchange.
Yeah. So, for example, the only magic that Kai will ever be able to do is origami. However, he doesn't have that. And also, there are other downsides to using it flagrantly in front of people.
Yeah, that too.
So.
I mean, as a fair delirium is a thing, but
Yeah. Alright, so you go home. And what's everybody doing for the afternoon?
I have a patrol to get on to and find out where Raz is at.
Alright.
And also text everyone and let them know that we're meeting at
Say.
and that we're meeting at this address tonight, apparently.
Alright, everybody gets a text.
What time?
I would list a time after sundown, whatever is appropriate.
Probably around... He said dinner, so probably around 7.
Yeah.
What's it about?
Time to meet the sheriff.
Okay.
At least it's not on the law.
Alright,
Funny of you to be introducing us, but
so you're going
as long
on
as you're
patrol.
not in a cell.
So,
Please, I'm the sheriff's
what were
favorite.
Gilda's shop hours? She starts at 11 and goes till
8.
8? 11
Yeah.
8?
That doesn't fill me with confidence.
Okay.
It shouldn't.
Roll me, by the way, perception alertness.
Perception alertness or perception alertness?
Perception.
Where's alertness? I forgot where that went. That's
Top
over
left.
there.
Towns.
1, 2, 3. Okay. Is this visual or hearing or what?
Do you have any particularly good senses?
Yes.
Which
sight.
one? Yeah, you can use your sight. This can be sight related.
2, 3, 3.
3? Okay. Cool. Thank you for rolling.
I was supposed to roll 18. So something hits me in the back of the head.
You're supposed to roll 5, actually, but...
See, told you.
No. You're going about your business. So what are you doing for the afternoon, then?
That's not happening. I don't care about that. I got a meeting later. I'm probably going to go back and take a nap because maybe another one of these all-nighter things.
Okay.
Oh,
So you're napping.
Well, no, I'm going to head over to Gilda's place.
Okay.
Walk into her shop.
She's underneath a truck, and there's a guy there trying to explain. No, but but the transmission isn't. Transmission's fine, I assure you. It's the axle. That's why. But the car's not shifting. Yes, because anytime you go fast enough for the car to shift into second gear, your wheel jams. But that's not going to cause the problem. I'm the mechanic. That doesn't make any sense. It works now. That will be $350. Wait, what? Just get in the car, drive it around in a circle, see it works, give me the money. We're done here. But you didn't. You just poked things with a wrench. Yes, and it works now, so don't question it.
Worst at hiding your magic, Gilda.
Or the best.
He looks perplexed, but he puts the key in and takes it out, and kind of looks shocked, and goes over and pulls out a card, and swipes it, and heads on out.
Okay.
Idiot.
Howdy.
Well, hello there.
I just stopped by to see if I could just hang around for a little while.
Absolutely, she says. Points over at the mini fridge full of beer.
And stuff. Yeah.
You notice that the back of the mini fridge smells like a brewery, and on closer inspection, you notice that the beer is not just being conjured magically out of the air. She has a bin full of hops, and it's just brewing the beer magically. So it's not actually quite as flagrantly magical as you would have expected. It's just brewing beer in minutes what should take weeks.
And then canning it.
Yeah, bottling.
Well, you notice that the recycling bin is attached to it, too.
Just recycles the same can over and over again.
Sure. The alcohol will kill all the stuff off, yeah. Okay.
Do you have matter?
Yes.
How many points of matter do you have?
So I can tell if it's poisoned or whatever.
Probably, actually, you could probably recreate this. Like, nothing's being created. Nothing new is going on. You could probably do this if you had matter and maybe a dot or two in time.
I got a dot of time. So, yeah.
You could probably do this.
You can have your own infinite beer fridge.
Okay, fine.
You just hanging out for the day?
Yeah, I was just, what are the things about getting quintessence back? If
you hang out here for an hour, you can get 1 point of quintessence back.
Okay. Alright. That's the plan.
Yeah, okay.
Just sit around and shoot the breeze.
You hang out.
Just,
You watch her do some repair work. She seems to alternate between doing legitimate repair work, but every once in a while when someone comes in and something is just horrendously broken beyond the ability to repair normally, she'll insist that it's some other problem and bang on it with her wrench repeatedly, and for whatever reason it starts working again.
The Team Fortress 2 method.
Yeah.
Quang, quang, build an eccentric.
So, yeah, it's like, oh man, this engine's just completely, like, there's a cracked engine block. It's like, it's like, oh, no, it's not your engine block cracked. You just have leaky oil pan. I just have to fix that. It's like, but it blew out all the fluids. Yeah, it's because your leaky oil pan.
Right.
She bangs on it with her wrench and suddenly it works.
Together. You're out of brake-like fluid.
That's bad for repeat business, because if their car never breaks down again, they have no reason to see the mechanic again.
She's the only mechanic around. I mean,
She has a lot of industrial contracts. You notice that not many people bring their personal cars in here. It's mostly larger machines.
Besides, what does it matter? If she goes broke, she just hits the bank with a wrench and it gets fixed.
Well, also realize that she just got paid $350 and it took her 30 minutes and no parts.
Yeah. Right.
So
her parts inventory is pretty low.
Like, there aren't a ton of customers that come in throughout the day.
Right.
Because when she fixes something, it stays fixed. Supernaturally.
Okay.
So you get your quintessence back.
Hold there, yeah.
Come 5 o'clock, what are you doing?
I guess I go find some dinner and then try to meet up with these guys.
You're gonna eat dinner before you go to dinner with them?
Oh, you're going to dinner?
Yeah.
I might probably be a good idea.
Okay.
For some of these people. No, no, I don't know. 5 o'clock. Let's see. I don't know. There's not really much else for me to do. Just kind of
You can just hang around
Head-
until then and just head over. Okay.
just shoot the breeze.
What about you, Dr. Dave?
Uh,
I like that you picked a first name that no matter what configuration I use it in.
It sounds funny. It's like Dave the Barbarian.
Wow, that was such a good show.
Dr. Tarasu, fake MD.
He's got a real MD.
I'll have you know. Yeah, seriously, that's like where most of my background points went into. Like seriously, it's hard to
What was that
actually be a
MD
certified
again?
doctor.
Internal medicine.
Dr.
Yeah.
Tarasu, completely ill-used MD.
People aren't ill once he's done with them.
Since he mentioned the sheriff, I'm slightly concerned about what kind of sheriff we'd be meeting with that he'd be introducing us. So I'm gonna do some research on
What are you
this guy.
researching?
Mostly just figuring out
What you learn is he's the sheriff.
if this guy has some kind of sketchy reputation, basically.
Are you Googling, talking to people?
Probably just looking him up for now, and if I see anything particularly sketchy online,
Alright. Computers, wits.
You learn he's the sheriff.
Yoink, yoink, yoink. Yoink. Difficulty.
6. You're not trying to find anything revolutionary.
Yeah. Just one success.
One sec. He moved to this island, it looks like about 3 years ago, followed by a rapid decrease in violent crime.
Great, so his methods are unorthodox, I'm sure.
Why are you assuming that? He came over and people stopped getting murdered.
Because he's
as often.
working with Faust.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, Akuma.
By the way, that's just the decrease in violent crime reported.
Okay, so
That's
the
true, too.
statistics just say decrease in violent crime.
Yeah, because statistics can only go off of reported information.
Well, basically I'm just considering whether I want to have my name tied with Akuma. Alright.
Do you want to be on the most wanted list? What number are you right now?
Am I at 5 now, or 4?
No. You're at 6. You said you've got one more dude to get in the top 5.
Right. I have one more. I have to get rid of Raz, and I'll be in the top 5.
Raz is, by the way, number 1.
Yeah, I mean he's flashy enough.
I'll contact you back and basically ask, why do the rest of us need to be there? You don't exactly have a great reputation.
Because the sheriff wants to meet you.
Me specifically.
All of you.
Sounds like a trap.
And why did you associate yourself with us? I'd really rather not be associated with a top 5 criminal.
You flatter me, but it's because because all of us are not from this place.
And neither is he.
I did say all of us.
So he's on our side then?
Or he's not on their side.
So was Tarn.
You'll like this guy better.
I liked Melodious too.
You'll like this guy a lot better.
Come on.
Trust me, he irritates me. You should like him.
Well, a moral compass is always a good redeeming quality. I'll be there.
You really need to learn my story.
Alright. So you're going to take your nap and meet them at 7?
I'll meet them there, yeah.
What about you, Toriel? You got that text too?
Yep. She'll spend the afternoon with Kai and then meet them at 7.
What about you, Skylar? Any activities?
I'm gonna do a little research. Try to find any potential spirit users. Besides the one we know that I don't want to get training from.
Oh, right. Roll me wits and enigmas. You're trying to find... No, wits and occult. This is definitely an occult thing. I'm trying to find people who speak to ghosts.
I got nothing.
Okay. Yeah, there's not exactly a database of mages on the island.
If anyone has one, it'd be Urine. I almost said Tarn.
But Tarn might too.
Tarn might, yeah.
So that's your afternoon. So come 7 o'clock, everybody meet up at the house?
Yep.
Alright. And, pardon?
Trail's gonna drop Kai off at Tarn's.
Awesome. Everybody else there at 7?
Yep.
Alright. We're going to take a quick break. Be back in about 5 minutes, and then we will meet with the sheriff.
13.
Always forward, never back.
Hello, and welcome.
And we're back. Hey, John Locke Cole. And...
Hi,
So-
we're back.
how punctual are all of you?
Punctual? I'm always 2 minutes early.
2 minutes early?
I scope out the place before I go in.
Alright. What time what punctuality are other people? What about you, Toro?
Trail will get there like on time.
Akuma's probably there like half an hour early because he wants to know
what Yaren does and lives like.
Okay, what about you, Skylar?
15 minutes early.
Dave?
On time.
Alright. So, Akuma, you get there first, and it's a small townhouse and a rundown area over in the Tam Tam district.
I knock on the door and then don't bother to wait for someone to open it before walking in unless it's locked.
It's not locked.
Yeah, so I knock and then open and walk in.
Hello, Kuru.
You know, you could pronounce my name right at some point too. It's an O, not a U.
Whatever way.
Kuro.
Kuro? Sorry. Kuro.
You know, I know this doesn't mean as much from someone who lives in a bunker made out of a series of shipping crates, but this is less than I expected.
Well, it's got a kitchen, it's got a bedroom, and it's got indoor plumbing. What else do I need?
I don't know, I just feel like sheriff is something that denotes a little bit of presentation. I don't know.
I have very little to do with those who put on shows of luxury to make themselves feel self-important.
That's why we actually manage to work together sometimes.
Yes. But, have a seat. I have some sort of food in the oven. Should be ready.
Some sort of food.
I'm not the best cook. I strongly suspect that in 15 minutes it will be burnt and I'll be calling it a pizza.
Straight to the point. I appreciate.
It works.
Yeah?
This banter continues briefly, and true to his word,
It's
there's a bad smell coming out of the oven. Yaren walks over, pulls it out. Indeed. Well, I've never had much tolerance for spam anyway, but apparently it's a local favorite. He dumps the food into a trash can, puts the dish into the dishwasher. That, to clarify, the house is very orderly, but not necessarily clean.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is stacked properly, but it's not been like wiped down or dusted or anything like that.
Yeah.
And he reaches over and calls a speed dial on his phone.
I see you do this a lot.
Yes. I have a lot of skills. Cooking is not one of them.
You know, it almost humanizes you.
I'm human. At least here.
I mean, to be fair, I can't really speak to that one myself.
I'm half human most other places.
See, in most other places, I'm a dragon.
That would explain the naming conventions.
Yeah, by the way, do you speak Japanese?
That's what I've been speaking to you in.
Yes! I wonder if you're doing that with magic or if you actually understand the language.
So paranoid.
Well, do you actually understand the language?
I'm speaking to you in it right now.
I'll take that as a no. My name literally means Dragon of Black Shadows.
Yes, I looked it up.
Okay,
I have Google Translate.
so you don't speak the language.
Pulls out his phone. Phone. What does the name Kuro mean?
Black.
Black. Well, yes, give me a Japanese baby name site. Start scrolling through it. There we go! Pulls it up.
There you go. Perfect. Oh, I actually relish these few minutes of conversation we have.
At this point, Skylar, you said you're about 15 minutes early?
Yeah.
You show up at a worn down old townhouse.
I was expecting more. Doorbell or
There's a doorbell.
ring?
It has it's that obnoxious buzz doorbell.
I
I wish people would knock, says Yaren. Come in, door's not locked.
knocked.
Yes, you did.
I come in.
Most people don't. Some people try to kick down the door with a machete in their hand. That was a mistake.
Cutters.
Yes.
One of them thought they could stab me. To be fair, they came up from behind and tried to stab straight from the throat, but...
Yes. They're not intelligent.
No.
Just dangerous. Which is a bad combination.
Stupid and dangerous, that tend to make trouble, yes.
Skylar?
Hello.
Your boss is more amusing than I thought.
I hope pizza's acceptable.
That's fine.
I even ordered one for most other people. Hopefully I got it right.
What did you order? I wasn't paying attention while you were placing that.
He got like 12 pizzas. Literally one of everything.
So Duncan gets 6 of them, and then we got the rest shared.
At some point, someone will have something they'll want.
Hopefully. I will say, one of the things about being awoken, a lot of things you can do really build an appetite.
I think that one's mostly you.
Well, regardless. I'm middle-aged, I'm supposed to have a bit of a gut, right? He looks down at his, like, again, not like 6-pack abs, but definitely fit 40-year-old man stomach. Haven't been able to get there yet.
Well, in our line of work, that tends to not stick around.
Yes.
Especially when you're me, he says, as he is completely built.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yaren has muscles, but they're not the showy muscles.
Akumas aren't really showy, they're just toned. Completely.
Well, there's this between tone, like, but you probably don't have any bad body fat either.
Not really.
Because you probably don't eat a lot.
He's very thin.
Okay. At this point, Duncan, you see the townhouse. You know this district. This is not the best district to live in.
I look around and it's a townhome, so it's all connected. Everything's connected. To like
Yes.
okay.
It's a giant strip of townhome.
It's a bunch of row houses.
Using matter, I want to see what's in the attic
Sure.
before I walk in.
That's matter 1. To see through materials.
Yeah.
X-ray vision.
2.
Looking through, the attic is very small, but it has a collection of, it looks like small sentimental objects. It looks like he's got a collection of dirks that you don't know what the engravings on them mean, but you're guess they're similar.
From what era or
Roll me
specific history?
Intelligence. Is there a history?
Yeah, I don't know. No.
There's academics.
Academics.
Yeah, intelligence. Either academics
really.
or
Esoterica would also work.
You could give me.
Esoteric.
You could give me intelligence melee too, since you're a knife guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
The difficulty will be
The
8 instead of 6.
the sort of like random cultural and historical knowledge that's not really super relevant would be esoterica, probably.
So you can either give me an academics or esoterica at 6, or you can give me a melee at 8. You're using intelligence anyway.
Alright. Let's just do this. It'll be... At 8 or 7? You said
8.
Okay, 3.
So there's a notable line in Irish folklore holds that the people who of this line fought absolutely viciously. There's rumors that during nights of the full moon, they would go on raids and take over swaths of lands and, butcher the English tyrants and all that sort of stuff.
Now, are you talking about the Fianna or the Tuatha De Danann?
Pardon?
Are you talking about the Fianna or the Tuatha De Danann?
The Fina.
The Fianna, okay.
So.
Okay.
One of them's World of Darkness. One of them's actual Irish culture. Real
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I got my name, actually, before I moved to Saipan. It was from looking up Irish type stuff. So, okay. So I'm familiar enough with that. All right. I just go to the door and knock.
It's open. You hear a voice
Right.
call.
Open.
You walk in. It's, again, small, orderly, not necessarily clean, but organized. And you see that Akuma and Skylar have both gotten there before you, and they're all...
Does it still smell like burnt ham? Burnt spam? Or slightly?
Not
Or
so
not
badly.
much?
You notice that the stove vent fan has gotten a lot of work around here. Also, there's a strong contrast in smell between outside and inside.
Yeah.
Like, outside, it does not smell great. Inside, it smells very nice.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that he's got some air fresheners.
What's Urine dressed like, by the way, right now?
He's dressed... He doesn't have the uniform on, but he's still very cleanly dressed. He's got comfortable-looking khakis, a button-down shirt with the top button undone, starched.
So, by comparison to Akuma's ever-permanent professional gangster look.
Yes. You know, he looks like... He's business casual.
Yeah.
How's Skylar dressed? You got your trench coat still?
That's definitely still on.
Okay. Definitely still rocking the I'm a detective look.
Yes.
Excellent.
Akuma always has like the pressed slacks and the vest and long sleeve shirt with the sleeves rolled up and just the giant great coat with arms outside the sleeves just resting on his shoulders.
The organized crime.
Yeah.
All right.
Everything else for me is just a little more casual.
As the two of you, Torel and Dave, get there, you arrive at the same time a dude with a ton of pizzas does.
Cool.
Like how much a ton of pizzas?
12.
12 pizza.
Do you think it'd be funnier if I got the door?
Could be neither.
Did you pay already?
Oh yes.
Okay. I go and get the door.
Oh, before you go, he hands you a 20 tip.
Oh,
No, this is more than my usual. He hands you another 20.
So for 12 pizzas?
$40 as a tip for 12 pizza. Yeah,
It's just that's just the tip.
that's just the tip. He's already paid for the pizza.
Oh, okay. He's already paid online. Okay, sure.
yeah, so
Whatever.
he goes and gets the door.
The guy looks in. Hey, you're not.
He's back here. We got him tied up. Just a big black guy ahead of me.
Here you go, he says as he extends the 220s.
Sure, he says as he hands over just a giant stack of pizzas.
So that's what we walk up to?
I take
Yes.
the stack in one hand. Duncan, you want
I'll
to
take
that to our
off.
friend?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sense for poisons in the pizzas.
Sure, roll me another one.
2.
No poison.
He says thanks and like he's looking for a name and he just goes, Akuma, go on.
Right. He kind of walks half backwards to his car. The two of you walk up at this time.
I want.
I just look at his expression, and then I guess I see him in the doorway.
Can I get the moment when he puts that name to a face?
Oh yeah.
Like, just do I see that expression?
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, he always does that.
Tarl's just gonna look at him straight face. I'm impressed he let you live.
I drag you away.
Take the water into a house. Dude jumps in the car and drives off.
Oh, the simple joys of life.
Does he call the police?
Yaren is the police.
Suddenly, Yaren gets a ring on the telephone.
I was just having fun, Dave.
Alright,
Alright, everyone inside.
nothing fancy, says Yaren as he throws down a stack of paper plates on 2 tables that have been pushed together.
Okay.
You know, telling him I always do that probably made it worse.
That's what the plan was.
You
You do, though.
See, that doesn't make people feel better, though. You're really bad at that.
so
You make it
there's-
very hard.
I'm very good at making people feel good if I want them to. I was just having fun. Duncan thought it was hilarious.
Of course he did.
I'm already digging into the pizza. Start with 4 or 5 slices at once since I see so much.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know.
Alright, so Duncan, right?
Yeah.
You
that would
work
be
as
me.
security.
Security over there.
Ah. Corel. I haven't had time to see the movie, but I've heard it was excellent.
Oh, thank you.
And you're one of the new...
Dr. David Tarasu.
Yes, you're covering after poor old Aaron passed away.
Yes.
He was a doctor. He has a good heart.
That's... Yes, about as much as can be said about how much medical professionalism usually makes it to this island.
Yes, it's unfortunate. But I understand you're good at your job, and I suppose I know why now.
He cheats.
I am thoroughly qualified in my own right, I'll have you know. But
Oh, yes!
yes, the ability to bend
I'm
reality
thoroughly
does help.
qualified in many things by my own right. But again,
Bending reality does help.
yes. All I've learned is you have to ask reality nicely, and it will respond in kind. Sometimes you have to ask nicely, very forcefully, but...
Yeah.
So, to get things started off, which one of you is associated with the clockmaker? You're going to want to end that relationship.
Why?
Tarn is an unstable man at best, and a lunatic at worst.
He's only been nice to us. My son's with him right now.
Facepalm with a pizza.
I'm doing this just to bother him at this point, and I actually very much love it.
I don't know where he came from, how long he's been on this island, or really anything about him.
Came from
He was in our
world.
world as well.
Another one.
Yep.
So did Yaren, honestly. Not Yaren. What's the name of the guy we were just talking about?
Halloran?
Elrin.
You're from the same world as Elrin.
Yep.
Well, that might explain a couple things.
Of course, I do believe he is from a different time as us, but the same world.
What do you mean different time? Once you enter a world, you're locked into that time. You can't travel times through a world.
Well, in so much as being born thousands of years before we were, I should say. Must have awakened much earlier than we did.
Who are you talking about right now?
Elrin.
How old is Elrin?
No one knows.
But in your world, he's...
Immortal.
He belongs to an ancient magical race, and from what we can tell, was one of the first of his kind, possibly? It's hard to tell. Again, I would estimate hundreds of years, possibly thousands of years old. And he seemed to be awakened for as long as we knew him, and possibly long before then.
Interesting.
It seems to be a running theory that... How much have you heard? Did he tell you about our world?
Not much aside from the Ethivor that's broken the boundaries into it.
We believe that our being untethered to our world had to do with that. The way that the Ethivore had to force its way in may have caused us to become untethered, hence why so many of us, and at the same time, were awakened.
Interesting. I have to admit, I don't know a lot about Ethivores. No one really does. More information. If we had more information, that would be excellent. But it's not like there's a book on them.
Of course not.
So, that is a matter for multiverse catastrophe. In the meantime, we're here to talk about the clear and present dangers. Some of us have already had to talk about Rasputin.
Old
And-
Raz.
The Russian guy?
He's not. But he likes to make himself out to be Rasputin.
Does Terrell know who Rasputin is?
Yes. He's number one most wanted.
Oh. Okay.
If you live on this island, you know who Rasputin is.
Okay.
You probably know him as Old Raz.
Uncle Raz?
Regardless, Daichi is a separate problem, but one entirely to this world. I hear that you have a separate agenda here.
What is your allegiance insofar as this conflict?
Well, the Chaos Lotus are a group of madmen who all desire to take advantage of power and not get bitten by it, which is most assuredly completely impossible. The other side is a group of people who follow a rash and childish man who calls himself Elrin. Who, altruistic, yes, but organized, leaderly, good at communicating, no.
So you consider yourself independent?
I consider myself, I will do what is good and what is right, regardless of what other people tell me.
I can at least respect that.
Where I am from, there are those called paladins.
I'm familiar enough with the idea, yes.
As hypocritical as a lot of them are, the ideals are to be upheld, even in worlds where they do not exist.
I mean, if you go far enough back in this world's history.
I'm not talking about the French knights that followed Charlemagne.
No, you're not. In fact, you're talking about him.
In my original world, yes.
How did you end up with the likes of him, he says, pointing amusedly at Hakuma.
It's a very
interesting series of circumstances. We understand one another.
It's...
They hired the wrong writers for the show.
Or the right ones.
Or the right ones.
Well, at best, it's that I at least consider him trustworthy enough that even if I may not agree with his morals, I can at least trust him to do well on the task at hand. If I can keep an eye on him, he can be useful. And at worst, better the enemy you know.
Interesting. It's the exact same opinion I have.
It seems to be a lot of people's opinion of me.
Well, the more people who think it, the more accurate it must be, right?
Exactly.
It's a very dangerous philosophy to hold.
Mm. Well, this world seems to agree with you, though.
Yes. And Esmeen, I know very, very little of her.
Neither do we.
We know just about the same.
I've spoken with her once.
You've done better than we have then. She's spoken to us once with a proxy.
She doesn't like to let you see her in person. She's honestly rather frail. But don't think that she is weak.
Frailty and weakness are two different things.
Indeed.
I'm intimately familiar with that one.
She is willing to do her own dirty work, if she has to. But better to use others.
as we experienced.
She despises the Ethivore Pyro. Almost as much as she despises Dren, the leader of the Chaos Lotus.
Did we meet Dren at any point?
He was a dragon.
He was that dragon who
That's
interacted
right.
with you fairly regularly.
Oh yeah, the dragon that almost killed me.
Doesn't take well to figures who would put themselves higher than her in authority, especially if they're male. In so much as an Ethivore can be male, he's add tax on.
Not to mention, Dren is a sorry excuse for a dragon to be in charge anyway.
Dren is interesting. He's got your traditional hubris, but he does a very good job of always having multiple fires burning at any given time. I'm sure that whatever happened on your world, he had things occurring in several others as backups. Very
Yes.
thorough.
He also had a large number of the Chaos Lotus present to ensure that Pyro got through.
And multiple nested wars to cover his tracks across 2 continents and a large island.
Well, it seems like the thoroughness I would come to expect of him. I don't know the rest of the Chaos Lotus very well. I interacted with Esmeen and Solios the one time. And, of course, Dren.
Solios.
Solios is from Esmeen's world, and let me assure you there are very few she hates quite as much as he. When he allied himself with the Chaos Lotus, I would have thought that was a nail in the coffin for Esme's refusal to enter. Something must be driving her very desperate to seek power from them.
What was the name of the person who forged the staff? The
Oaxaca.
Are you familiar with Oaxaca? He was someone that was, at the very least, being used by the Chaos Lotus, though it didn't seem much like he was very fond of them.
I don't know much, honestly. I spend most of my time in other worlds trying to alleviate whatever pain I can while I'm there. What goes on in the wood between is not much to my knowledge. It doesn't agree with me.
Just it's good to hear that the wood doesn't like you.
I can assure you, it probably likes me better than you.
Probably.
The only people who can say their extended amount of time are pacifists. Hence, Arin and Card. I'm sure you've met them.
Yes.
You would have had to have if you've been to the wood.
Card was the one who introduced most of us, I believe.
Card... Card thrives on deception because he has no stomach for when things have to be done properly.
There's a lot of people's definitions of things being done properly.
As much as I dislike violence, sometimes it has to occur.
Yes, but it can very often be avoided.
Yes. But it doesn't have to be avoided with deception. Honestly, if we can all be honest with each other, we know our enemies, we know our allies, and we can handle things like civilized men. Men, in the plural sense, is gender neutral.
You need to learn about the evolution of language, good sir.
No, the first definition of man
Language
is
is-
the human.
Languages change from world
Yeah.
to world. It's very confusing, really. I'm pretty sure we weren't speaking this language back on the other world. It's...
Honestly, this language feels like the universal default, but
Whatever language you speak will feel like the universal default, I assure you. How many worlds have you been to?
2 at the moment.
2. This is
Oh.
our second.
We're just getting started.
I take it most that we've met have been to far more.
Well, yes. It gets interesting the more you visit. I do not envy you your first few awakenings.
In what respect?
It's jarring the first few times. And then it stops being jarring, but in a way that's disconcerting. It's hard to explain. Regardless, again, we have a task at hand. Tell me about the mountain.
It's over there.
Well,
The group of you were the ones who were doing most of the digging.
there happens to be a particular artifact that Esmeen seems to want. And the problem with that artifact is that, so far as we can tell, it doesn't exist, or at least shouldn't exist.
Something from outside this world.
Journal of one Strafonio the Mad.
The name rings a bell.
I think there was this old video game, a Magic Candle, was it?
Mad. I've heard the name before, but I couldn't tell you where.
So, you know, see, this one's a kobold.
Yeah.
There's 3 Straphonios, it's very confusing.
It wasn't from this world that I've heard that name, though.
I would figure as much.
So, she's looking for the Journal of Strafonio, the journal of a man who travels between the worlds, and I presume it is written in such a way such as to contradict the very laws that define these worlds.
That would be the best guess so far, yes.
The laws of the worlds are confusing. I don't quite understand them. In fact, I don't know anybody who does, except for some reason Elrin, who seems to both understand them and be able to break them at his leisure, which disconcerts me.
Break them in what ways?
Number one, he talks far too freely about things from other worlds. Try to remember something specific about where you're from. If you think back upon your previous life, again, it's like a dream. The more you focus on a detail, the more it fades away. You remember you were a paladin, and you were a knight in shining armor, or woodsy armor, or some sort of armor, and you had shields. But it's so hard to set aside names, aside from the other Untethered that you met.
Mm-hmm.
While this is happening, Akuma kind of reaches into the coat pocket and pulls out a small black tarot deck and just slowly starts to deal cards.
Doing any particular readings with it?
Basic reading of future.
Okay. You do that. Talk amongst yourself for just a minute. Hit the restroom. And the bladder of a 5-year-old.
Oh.
Point out that I'm the 9-month pregnant person
Yes,
here.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah, you have to use the bathroom less than he does.
That's
Much
terrible.
less.
Well,
But regardless of...
So Elrin, in surprise to nobody, can randomly break the laws of logic.
I mean, was anyone ever really in doubt?
I suppose the way that most of this group was awakened was far different than most. It was strange how casually he was able to introduce the rest of you to the idea of not being from our world.
Oh no, it only took 2 of us to have near-death experiences. Thank you for that, by the way.
yeah. Exactly.
Well, in my case, it wasn't a near-death experience. That was just you.
I would call coming face to face with...
Yeah, that was.
I would
pretty
call
rough.
coming face to face with a demigod a near-death experience.
Because I came in as you were just before you bleeped out. You looked
Only a
pretty red.
lich.
She was a demigod.
It was a deal.
And there were gods on my side, too, so...
Much less direct, though.
Still, the battle, all things considered, was not terribly difficult.
You also weren't actually there. You were defending yourself. You weren't fighting. You were trying to not die.
I believe I was the one there, actually.
I had very good sights.
So as you're doing your reading, the first card comes up to show who it is about.
Mm-hmm.
And it is... Let me pull up my tarot cheat sheet.
It's not the tower.
No, that's you.
It's me.
All right. All right. It is the Seven of Cups.
Do I remember who this one is?
Was that Taro?
One was Charo, one was Gora.
One of the cups, yeah.
Yeah. As you recall, the Seven of Cups is associated with fantasy, illusion, wistful thinking, rash choices, and imagination.
This one's Charo.
But
Yeah.
it can but at its worst, it can be temptation, illusion, and diversion.
Tarl.
As you flip up, the card that is of greatest influence at the moment is the Moon.
The moon is one of the prime, which
The
means
Moon is one of the major arcana.
which means
Yes.
it's one of the diamonds of the Chaos Lotus.
Yes.
I remember
You've
which one.
you've gotten this reading before. As you recall, it is a young, beautiful, but frail, brown-haired woman.
Frail.
And it refers to, it means illusion, and it can also refer to confusion, the release of fear, the subconscious mind.
What does it mean? And the next card?
The next card of influence is the Tower.
What is it?
Is that the end of the reading?
And the final one is Justice. And as you flip up Justice, the picture on it matches perfectly with the man across the table from you. Which is justice, fairness, truth, cause and effect, righteousness.
The four of us have a clash coming soon.
Well, from what you're reading, the reading would be specifically from Esmene's point of view.
Yeah.
She has... Her past has been influenced by the Tower. Her present is being influenced by the Moon, and her future is going to receive strong influence from Justice.
Yeah. This is specifically from her.
Wait, from Esme?
From Torel.
Or
From Toro.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. I sweep the cards up.
What is it?
Personal matters.
You read the tarot. Divination is sketchy, at best.
This is a means of divination he's had for longer than this world.
Remember how I said that no knowledge can really be hidden from me if I truly seek it? I always find a way.
Well, carry on then.
What has she got?
Are you in character actually glaring at each other right now?
I'm looking at Torel right now, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in character, yes.
What has she got?
What is who got?
This woman. She has something that's important to you.
No.
Something at this moment makes her important in your fate. You in the future, and I understand that one. What I'm puzzling is her.
Very confused right now.
As me.
Yes.
Have you had any interaction with her that we haven't?
Not directly.
So you have.
Perhaps.
I don't judge like the rest of this group does. You can tell me at the very least.
Are we speaking so everyone can hear, though?
Probably.
I mean, he's speaking quietly. He suspects everyone's listening in, but
Yeah, they're all listening.
I'd rather not speak about it right
Very well.
See, this is exactly what I was talking about with honesty.
Yes.
Well, see, when you're honest with everyone, more often than not, people who believe that they're on the highest of horses tend to look down on you.
He looks at you. Yes, my horse. It's so tall.
It is. Perhaps if you step down for a bit. But more, I'm referring to him.
I could tell, yes. Thank you very much.
Well, I mean, he is a rather large individual. I don't think a small horse would carry him all that well.
No, that's fair.
We're already together in a group that is essentially attempting to save the fate of multiple worlds. I don't understand why we can't trust each other.
Look,
Oh, I absolutely trust you to do exactly what you will do.
You know what I mean by trust. I mean something that actually matters. Not reading someone, not playing someone like this is a game. Because it's not.
It's never been a game. But information is a weapon. Who has it, when they have it, and what they will do with it are just as vital in a war as weapons and physical strength.
Who's at war?
Everyone is at war for survival and for success to stop this threat. And while you play strength, while you act directly, while you heal, Yaren is very right. I lead. I play the chess game. I manipulate the hidden information. When you need to know, you will know. But not a moment earlier.
And you choose what my needs are, I suppose.
If we want to win, some of it, yes. I don't seek to control you. Mastery over others is not my purview. It sickens me, honestly.
That's a pretty funny time to adopt that kind of stance.
I've always had that stance. No one rules me, and I rule no one.
I thought you were just comparing yourself to a chess master.
I am. But like the pawn, one must act on their own. Even if one gives them orders, if the pawn refuses to move, then it is the chess master's fault for being unclear.
Nothing that's going on right now is very clear at all, so...
can I butt in? The two of
Yes,
you
please.
don't like each other. You don't agree with each other. And obviously you're not going to agree with each other. This argument sounds like it occurs on a regular basis. Has it ever produced any useful effect?
No, but he keeps going for it.
I suppose I do have that naive hope that at some point we'll actually realize that we should be...
This is a man,
Working
he says.
together.
And perchance I don't know him as well as you, but from what I've seen, who is not influenced by words. He influences others with words. He is influenced by actions, the things he sees. He can be shown the light, just not told.
Who is he talking about?
Me.
Oh, okay.
It's very hard to act when there's nothing to act on.
Well, right now there's a gang war, and there's this mind-controlling freak who's trying to retrieve ancient artifacts that could destroy all the worlds as we know them. So I think there is.
And any particular knowledge that anyone has about any of those subjects would be highly appreciated.
When the time is right.
You're not telling me you don't have that information.
At the moment, I don't. I have to retrieve that information to learn how best to use it.
So be it. It's very hard to feel like we're the good guys here.
Well, I, for one, make it my business to liberate those who have been brought unwillingly into slavery and give them a home as they sit outcast from the rest of the world. You attend to the sick and injured in a hospital that is under-equipped using magical powers to make sure that those who would otherwise be slain survive. Our opponent controls those against their will, deprives them of all memory and knowledge of what they had done for her, and if they become captured or put in a compromising situation, causes them to kill themselves. I think it's very clear who the good guys are.
And that's why I'm still working with you. I would just very much...
Like a little more trust.
Yes. I believe at one point we had some agreement of honesty.
I am being perfectly honest with you. That I choose when I give information very carefully. It's not to spite you. It's not to keep things hidden from you. It is to properly deploy a weapon that, if misused, could cause disaster. Because our opponent's power is to read thoughts, to learn, to gain knowledge. We might be shielded, but it is not perfect. Any leak of information becomes dangerous.
Dave, one thing you'll learn as you grow older. You cannot control or know everything. You have to trust that even those who you do not agree with or like, but can respect, will do what needs to be done. Trying to push them does not help. Showing respect garners trust.
Why can these things never be simple?
Unfortunately, simple went away a long time ago.
Simple never existed.
I figured that out when I joined all of you.
So that heart attack patient that you had, did he get released from the hospital yet, or is he still there?
By now, would he have
They
been...
probably would have kept him for observation overnight, seen he's fine, sent him home and have him follow up in a couple weeks.
By this point, he would have been released, yes.
Yeah.
I did check, and it would seem that all of his memory that he may have had was removed.
Is there a way that we can use our mind magic to find who we're looking for through someone else who might be being manipulated?
If we can find someone who's being manipulated, then yes.
I might have someone.
And if we can,
Hmm.
and if we can peer in without
Yeah.
our
triggering.
opponent noticing and killing them.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was another concern. I was intending to probe deeper at whatever the influence might have been, but I was concerned about being detected.
And she has shown that once she has been compromised, she will kill her vessel.
Because there's someone that I have been working with who hasn't shown up for the last 3 days, and that's very unlike her. I am thinking that she might be being used by this critter.
She
That
has
we might.
access to some of the security that you work with.
Yes.
Could you give me a name? I'll try to keep an eye out
Okay.
for anything medically that shows up.
What's her last name? Elizabeth something or other. I give them the name.
Elizabeth Matua.
Cool.
And I give a rough approximation of where I think she lives, because it's close to where she was shopping and all that. Probably around that area, if you want to try to track her down. Or whatever.
Hey, Akuma. Roll me intelligence politics.
One, two, three, 4, 5. Unless if assuming difficulty 6.
Yeah. Oh, you know what it is. She's a rat.
Oh.
You also know that Yeren,
Realize that as well.
no. So, Yeren has a business relationship with the dragons as sort of a lesser of two evils. Yeren is very protective of the rats gang. He doesn't like people to mess with them, poke them, or do anything around them, or insinuate anything about them.
Your friend works for the blind beggar.
Okay.
Yeren's
Is that a
eyebrows
problem?
raise.
No.
Do we need to get rid of
Actually,
them
the
first?
rats are one of the... I like them a lot, actually. I appreciate their presence.
I see. Do we need to pay a visit? Because I think we need to pay a visit.
If she's about to be taken under the... If she's about to
Yes.
forfeit the rats for the dark horse, yes.
Yes.
Let's go, he says, standing up. No time like the present.
Let's move then.
He walks
Save
out
another
back.
life from
I'm
slavery.
stuffed.
He walks
I've had
out
a
back.
piece and a half.
Shall we take my car, he says, and there's just a giant white panel van.
Cool.
You know this doesn't engender... No, you're the sheriff. Everyone trusts you, even if you
Everybody
drive
fine.
this thing.
Does he have the sword on his back, by the way?
Oh yeah, everybody aside, everybody but you two roll me willpower checks.
Everybody but who?
The two of you who have interacted with him on a regular basis before.
Willpower? Because I think I would notice.
What's the difficulty?
6.
6.
6. 3. 4. 4.
Oh, that's right. Dave Tarasu's got a lot of willpower.
7 successes.
All right, what'd you get, Torel?
5.
What'd you get, Duncan?
3.
All right. So as he stands up, he slings a claymore over his back, and dude just threw a claymore on his back.
From what I was like looking up of him, did like his Wikipedia page have like a claymore over his back or anything? Like,
He didn't have a Wikipedia page.
okay, but not,
Like,
did-
there was
did-
no-
I
there's
didn't
been
see
no
any
mention.
mentions about a guy with a.
No.
Pictures will be. Yaren, just the sheriff.
Just the sheriff.
Is that a claymore?
The rest of you hear him ask that like it's unusual that he has a claymore on his back. Yes.
It's unusual.
The last person who has been in a position of authority in any kind of a fighting role who has used a claymore, I believe it was World War I, World War II, I believe. I know who that was.
He had
And-
magnificent style.
And he did not. Yes, I know who that person is, and that person lived a very long time ago. You're telling me that for several weeks I have shared an island with someone who wields a claymore in public, and I haven't even heard so much as a single mention of it.
Why do you have to make this weird? All the rest of you are like, yeah, like, what? Duh, he's good.
And no one finds this strange at all?
Hazuki does for some reason.
I mean, not really.
I've met a lot of very strange people. You're one of the strangest people I've met.
Do it
I get in the van.
All right, he pulls into the. He slips in the driver's seat, and you sputter off. This van doesn't seem like it works so great.
You should take this to Gilda.
Gilda?
Gilda Smith.
On the other side of the island.
She looked online. It runs like magic.
I see. Why are there so many mages on this blasted island?
Because it's a small, isolated island in the middle of nowhere with a high amount of superstition and religious zealotry.
Why not?
Works for me. He drives you down some roads to, like, worse and worse parts of town.
Oh, good.
And
My favorite.
he pulls off in front of a building and parks the car. All right.
Pile out.
It's very dark. None of the street lamps here work. All right. Time to go meet. You go on ahead, he says, getting back in the car.
You afraid of the blind beggar?
No.
Do I see anything?
Everybody roll me perception awareness. Awareness.
I just bumped the camera.
Not bad then.
Hey!
What was it? Perception awareness?
Perception awareness.
Difficulty 6?
Difficulty 6.
5.
4.
Nada.
Three.
3.
6.
Alright, so everybody but Dave. Now that he mentions it, there's an odd presence. You can't quite put your fingers on it. If anybody wants to roll me intelligence occult at difficulty 8.
I have intelligence and I have some occult.
I mean, I have that.
I probably can't roll this.
Let's see.
I just draw my knife and have it in my hand. Sort of hidden, but not really.
2 successes.
Oh, 3.
It has a slightly demonic tinge to it.
Oh,
Someone's been following us.
I remember this one.
Don't worry, I've got this.
I want to break him.
Is this the one that...
Yes.
If we go in force, he'll just disappear again.
He's well equipped to fight any individual members.
Yes, but I don't want to lead him toward the rats.
Then we need bait and ambush.
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
How well can you take a bullet? A good bullet. A big bullet.
I don't know, they never seem to hit me for some strange reason. Alright,
Go on ahead. then.
any volunteers?
To what, go first?
Well, I'm assuming the majority of you are going to the rats.
How many of you want to stay and fight someone who's probably out of any individual's league?
No more than 2. Again, I don't want to show up too much of a presence.
Duncan, you and I.
Yeah. We'll hang back.
Alright, the 3 of us will lay an ambush. 3 of you. Go on. You said there was a 6th.
Yes.
Yeah.
Last you heard, he was obsessing at the mountain, trying to, like, punch it to find things.
He's still looking for the book at the mountain.
You realize it's a mountain, right?
He's never let that stop him before.
He's a pretty big guy.
He's not the brightest.
No, he is the brightest, actually. That's what makes him obsessive.
Right.
He's very determined.
Alright, well, let's lay an ambush. The rest of you carry on. If the two of you want to figure out your ambush plan, I'll be right back with my 5-year-old lad.
Well, what's the matter? Okay, is this... You sense what?
Direct attacks with magic are
Pointless, I know.
negligent. If you can augment yourself for physical strikes, that'll work. He's still very
the
durable.
same guy that we
Yes.
ran into before. Okay.
He's got a very big gun. It hurts.
Okay. That shouldn't be a problem.
He's got 2 very big guns. They hurt.
Yeah. I haven't shown up yet.
Trying to avoid being shot.
The gun won't be a problem.
I hope so.
Unless he has bigger magic than I do.
He's got anti-magic is what he's got.
That helps. But is that only for him or is for everything?
For him, primarily. So we need to close the gap and strike him before we need to get the first hit in.
Right.
Both of us. So if we can position ourselves in appropriate places to catch him by surprise.
So they're going to go ahead and we're just going to duck in behind something and then pop out. And
You have to have a spare machete or something.
I've got a, no, all I have is my Bowie knife.
Any ambush plans?
What's the layout look like?
So, you are in an area of... It looks like this was more... there's a lot of residential around you. It's sort of... You know the old mill towns, the way they're set up, where there's like some sort of big factory. In this case, it was an apparel factory in the center.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really, really cheap housings that was built around it. It's that sort of setup.
Okay.
And the factory center area is where everybody else is heading to meet up with the rats. So there's very narrow streets and shoddy, like literally condemned houses.
Alright, yeah, I think if Yaren's basically being the bait, both of us take hidden positions in nearby alleyways or inside condemned houses.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just going to, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to use my matter spheres and see if I can sense gunpowder. Just
Sure.
to see if I can figure out where he is exactly.
Do you have any correspondence?
Oh no, just time. Shoot.
Because
I can't figure out location. I can't do
yeah,
location. Okay.
it's too far
All right.
away.
Okay. Okay, we're just gonna hide out until he shows up.
Alright. Yaren is walking down the streets intentionally. And
I'm going to use time to try and up my reaction time so that when he shows up, I can get the drop on him before he gets to try anything.
Alright,
Me too.
go ahead and roll me. Yeah, go ahead and roll me your time. How many spheres of time do you
I
have?
got one.
I have 3.
You don't have enough. So to speak
For perception. For seeing,
to see if
you have your reaction times?
just to get the perception.
Sure, you can up your perception with that.
Okay. I don't have much.
I want my reaction time with my shot. I cast it with 2
3
successes.
10s and a 9. Nice. Yes.
Actually,
I got 6 on 4 dice.
For your time spell?
Yeah.
Well, okay, you perceive the future. What was your perception alertness?
my time spell my reaction time was 2 successes.
Alright, everybody can roll a perception alertness and add a number of dice equal to the successes you got.
Yep.
What number of dice equal to successes?
Yeah, so you can add 6 dice. Perception,
six.
alertness.
Difficulty
Perception?
6.
4.
Need more dice?
No, I'll do it twice.
It's no fun that way though.
What'd you get, Akuma?
6 successes.
Would you just rather?
Just dump, yeah. That's why I love playing orcs in 40k, because it's just like, here's a fucking
Wait,
D6.
did you account for the fact that your perception has your specialty in it?
And then the math.
No,
So all of those explosions would have been 2.
Okay, these are all 5s and 6s, the rest of you don't
No,
matter.
we're not.
This
really.
is not sight perception.
Oh,
No,
never mind then.
no,
This
just
is
the senses.
you're
Yeah,
gonna
just
hear
senses.
something before you
Yeah, it's
see
8.
something.
Yeah. So 8.
All right. So you're not exactly caught off guard, but you don't have time to react to it. Duncan, you hear a bang, and Yaren hears it at the exact same time, and he's instinctively his hand comes up and he catches a bullet,
Okay.
and you hear the punk music. He flicks the bullet into the air and draws his claymore out.
Okay.
You've been following us for a while, and the three of you see the familiar figure crouched on top of one of the abandoned buildings with his ridiculously oversized pistol out. Don't use mind magic, he's a castigate, says Yaren as he runs up the wall. By the way, I'd like you to roll me dough and intelligence.
To know that he's also a Akashic, yeah.
Difficulty 5.
Because he's using Plum Flower Blossom right now.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes, 7 successes.
This person knows more dough than you do.
Yeah. He's been around for longer than I have.
Yes. Yeah, he runs up the wall to catch up, to which...
I know that technique. I can use it myself, which I will, by the way.
Okay, yeah, you want to roll me to use that technique? What are you doing,
I will
Duncan?
use Plum Flower Blossom.
Using matter, every bullet has a primer. Every primer has nitrocellulose. Every bit of nitrocellulose is going to turn to cotton.
Cool.
I have 4 successes for Plum Flower Blossom, so I also will just run up the wall.
Excellent.
Nope.
That's what walls are for anyway.
Wasn't that in 0? Wasn't that an explode?
Yeah, that one was. But 2 successes, 2 1s. So
All right.
no.
No, the ones don't detract from successes.
Oh, they don't on this. Okay.
No.
Okay.
However,
they're going to blow off.
the problem is this guy has something special about him.
Well, yeah, he's immune, but not his gun. Oh, is his gun part of him?
It's complicated.
Oh, yeah, I figured it would be, but I had to try.
As you reach out, you try to bend reality, and you bend reality, and you see something in your mind that feels like getting punched in the nose, and you gain a paradox,
Okay.
as your spell does not successfully occur.
Okay.
Alright, let's all roll initiative.
Yeah. D10
What's in
plus wits and dexterity.
D10 plus wits and dex.
I have a 12.
7.
Alright, so you're first, Akuma.
And we're gonna try and lay this out as quick as we can. Where's my third sheet? Oh, wait. Yes. Yeah, we're gonna lead in with a. Yeah, we're gonna lean in with a Typhoon Kick, but as I go in, I'm going to use Life and Forces to make the kick stronger.
Alright.
So every success here will reduce the difficulty up to a max of reduced by 3. Which I make all 3. So I reduce the difficulty on Typhoon Kick by 3. Which makes it difficulty 5. 6,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes with the Typhoon Kick.
Interesting. As your foot contacts what should be him, it passes through, and the illusion vanishes to vapor. And then there's the explosion.
It's a good thing I can soak lethal damage.
Yeah. So, there's the brunt force of the damage. So, Duncan, you weren't on the roof.
What?
So, you're going to have to roll me... there is an explosion. You have a split second to react as shrapnel is flying at you.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Just dodge. How do I do that?
Well, it's hard to dodge when it's raining shrapnel.
Well, I mean, just duck and cover or something.
Alright.
Minimize the amount of surface
Sure,
area that I
roll
have
me-
exposed.
I'll let you apply your full armor against it.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll me. Yeah, everybody roll me. Roll me stamina and armor since you're taking thing. You're gonna have to roll me to be able to absorb lethal damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can just do that, but I can also roll a spell to make me better at it, so
I recommend you do.
I'll do some life.
2 successes.
Alright, I effectively add 3 dice to my soak roll. Good. Armor.
And
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 points of damage.
all right. You take 2 points of damage
Ow.
that go through, and you have been thrown from the 3-story building. You are currently in the air. You soaked how much?
2.
2. Thankfully, you're not taking the same damage they are. This is just the shrapnel. A particularly a decent sized piece of glass gets embedded in your arm, and you take 1 point of damage through your soak.
Okay.
So what do? You're in the air at a good velocity.
There's no one watching, and this is a martial arts town anyway. So the wire fu effect of like backflipping in the air and then just coming down and slowing as you hit the ground.
All right.
The 3-point landing.
What spheres are you using to accomplish this?
Forces, life, and time if I need to.
That seems very good. How many dots do you have in each?
I have 2 forces, 2 life, and 3 time. To reduce the forces
so
of the
you're going to
impact.
use 2 points of life to store to yourself, 2 points of forces to reduce the impact, and your 3 points of time to slow your fall.
Basically.
I dig it. It's going to be difficulty 7.
1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
All right, that's sufficient. You slow your fall. You notice that Yaren took a slightly different approach, as he also did a 3-point landing in a crater that wasn't there before he did the 3-point landing.
What was that about no collateral damage? I thought you were precise.
Normally my opponents don't have access to that much explosives. What was that? What purpose did it serve?
I didn't get a good look, but presumably he was trying to kill me by exploding me when I struck him, because that's about the second time I've tried to kick him in the head.
That wasn't a man, that was an illusion.
Yep.
Who do we know who can project illusions?
Yes, one person in particular, which means he's working for her.
That's good to know. Let's go join up with the rest. In the meantime, the 3 of you have gone forward to meet with the rats. As you're walking down, you hear a voice behind you. Stop right there.
I stop.
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 Do any of you turn around and look behind you or not?
I'm going to use. What did the voice sound like?
It sounded like a young woman with a deep voice.
I'm going to use matter to see if I can detect behind me, get a general idea of who this is.
Sure. That's not quite going to work. You could detect. You could feel there's a person behind you. It'd be correspondence to see with enough details.
Could I use
Could
correspondent mind to sense about where she is behind us? Or?
You could use matter to sense where she is, just not who she is.
What about using mind to see if I can... No, using mind's a bit... Can I use mind just to detect, like, what kind of mental state she is? Like, detecting aggression, possibly.
Yes, absolutely.
Seeing how willing this person will be to start a fight.
Yeah, Carol's just gonna turn around.
1, 2, 3, 4 successes. Assuming difficulty 6.
Yes, let me roll her willpower. She has a ton. Because it's a good thing to have in her profession. You got 6 successes?
Yeah. Wait, no, 4.
4? Okay. You tie her. You don't feel open hostility, but you can't feel much more than that.
Alright.
As you turn around, you see a woman she has incredibly toned muscles. You would suspect that it's because she has a broad build and a lot of muscle, but she has no fat on her. Her skin is fairly dark, and she's got like kinky, curly, like Islander type hair.
Mm-hmm.
And she's dressed in very obviously secondhand clothes that were meant for a guy, because you have to get something big enough to fit her muscular frame. And she's carrying a brightly colored umbrella that has a wicked looking knob at the end of the handle.
At this point, I turn around also.
Okay.
We're not here for a fight.
We come in peace.
We,
We come in peace!
Do people use that line?
I
Sure.
just did.
she does apparently.
Right.
We're here.
Look.
We're here with Yarn.
Urine.
Yarn.
Yarn.
Sorry.
And Yaren is...
Dealing with the situation a little further back.
Look, I don't have a whole lot of time to deal with these sorts of things. We're not here to help. We're not miracle workers. We're survivors. Head on back.
We're not looking for help. We are here to help you.
Right. We're fine. Head on back.
Maybe for now you are, but can we? Let's just wait until the others come. They can.
Right.
Well,
How about I stand here and not do anything for a little bit and something else happens? I'm not an idiot. You're going to leave.
No, we're going to wait for Yaren.
She holds her umbrella up at you. Gonna do
Roll
what now?
initiative. Roll initiative.
We're going
No.
to wait for Yaren.
Throw a piece of glass
I
at
step
her.
between. Like,
Pardon?
I step between them.
How about you don't?
Show her your badge.
Is this the point at which an explosion goes off?
I don't
Not
think
quite
that's
yet,
gonna.
it
I don't
takes-
think that's gonna help here.
Yeah, I know.
What does the surrounding does the surrounding area just look totally abandoned, or
Yes.
I'm guessing I wouldn't recognize her, would I?
Pardon?
I'm guessing I wouldn't recognize her for.
No.
And nothing I recognize or anything, or...
No, you definitely wouldn't recognize her.
We were here because we were worried about whether Elizabeth was possibly in danger and that Yaren's basically protecting this gang, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
That Elizabeth might be controlled by Esme.
yeah.
I mean, saying that out loud to someone who is a member of the Rats is probably a bad idea, but one of your best friends is being mind controlled.
Possibly.
And also a very weird thing to say to someone who possibly, doesn't have magic.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, mind control. What kind of sci-fi movie do you think you're from?
Yeah.
Alright, got this.
Listen, I suppose you don't... Is there any way we could possibly arrange some sort of a meeting? There is a pressing reason specifically from Yaren regarding all of this. I understand if you can't trust us enough to wait here, but is there any way we could arrange some kind of a meeting?
Roll me appearance expression.
Appearance expression?
Yeah.
I can do that. Difficulty?
7.
3 successes.
You look pretty genuine. What's your intent?
Honestly, my main intent is helping Yaren. He has reason to be
What's
distressed.
the danger?
The danger is something we're not entirely sure of the nature of, really. We're afraid
How
that there may be...
convenient.
One
We're
of
afraid-
the members of your group may be in grave danger.
Well, that's ambiguous. Who and what's the danger?
What was your name again?
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth.
And what's the danger?
She might be
We believe that she may be...
being forced to
Being-
do something she doesn't want to do.
We're not entirely sure what it is, but there's been note of odd behavior, and we're not sure if it may be some kind of blackmail against her or whatever it may be, but...
You guys are talking to Elizabeth right now.
I know that's what
I mean, I know. I
Yeah.
in a meta sense, I know.
You know.
The point is, we're worried about it. Yaren knows a little bit more. It's something that he would understandably want to play a bit close to the chest, but...
Elizabeth can take care of herself.
This
If it's only Elizabeth you're worried about, you may as well leave.
This is something that Yaren wants to speak about.
And Yaren will speak about it whenever he comes by. Thank you for your interest.
When he comes by, but please, is there any way we could arrange some kind of a meeting again?
You people
It's a landlord.
and your meetings.
So does the bomb go off yet?
Not quite yet. I presume, you're all speaking in English, by the way?
Yeah.
That would be my
I
default to go to.
Whatever language
Whatever
she
spoke.
she spoke to us when.
Okay, she said that in English.
Okay, thank you.
You're not even going to be able to speak with anyone of importance. So just save your breath and get out.
What languages do they speak? You don't know us.
And you don't know us. What do you think? I would like to point out that she's obviously Carolinian.
Okay.
Oh look, that's the one that I speak.
None of you do.
I speak the other one, don't I?
Chimera.
I don't speak any of these native languages.
She stepped a step closer with the umbrella. Last chance.
I'll take a step back basically towards where we came from. Please, if...
She's angling around you so that you can back off away from where you were heading.
We could try to seek an audience again, but...
Just fan out. She can only hit one of you.
5, 4,
Let's leave.
3,
Do you... Okay.
2.
I start walking away. Does anybody else follow?
Yep.
Tara will follow you.
Boom!
Boom. There's a bomb.
There's an explosion.
How'd you do that?
Was she counting down?
No.
Yes.
Oh, she wasn't. That it happened.
And then the explosion happened.
Yes.
I look at her expression to see if she's at all surprised by this.
Roll and who was closest to her at that point?
I think
Probably me since I got
because you stepped
but
between
you turned
them.
back around.
I was just kind of backing away because I was also looking to them to make sure they were starting to back away as well.
Okay, but you said you turned to look at Elizabeth's expression, right?
Yeah.
Roll me initiative.
Oh boy.
all of us.
Roll.
All of you, but for the first time.
So it's
It's
wits
plus
and-
wits and dex.
Yeah, plus the sum total of those dots.
I never roll well.
It's one. It's 1d10 plus the total of your wits and dexterity.
1d10 plus.
It's just one of them.
Yeah.
Just one d10.
Like, and you're
Oh,
actually
plus.
taking the number value out of
Right.
it, basically.
Oh,
Okay, so
sorry.
So you'd be your dexterity's 3 and your wits is 3, so you'd be adding 6 to that.
that is 14.
Is that 6 or 9?
That is a 9.
Okay.
Plus your wits, which is
Plus wits and dexterity, that's 5.
wits is 2. Yeah, so 9 plus 14.
14.
So 14. What'd you get,
7.
Dave? All right, Dave. You are getting struck in the face by an umbrella.
Okay.
You're gonna want to roll to soak.
Yeah, I can kind of do
Stamina
that.
and armor.
Stamina armor?
I don't have enough dice over here to roll damage.
Just do it twice. Or do whatever.
That's a lot of 4s.
Well, at least it's probably bashing damage, so you're just gonna get knocked out.
That's a lot of
All right,
4s.
how much of 10 can you soak?
That's a lot of 4s.
5 and a
6,
3.
7 before he's incapacitated, and then the bashing starts turning into lethal.
That's a lot of 4s.
So did you get any successes?
No.
I got a lot of 4s.
Okay, so you take 3 lethal damage, and you're like, she hits you in the side of the head, and there's a loud cracking noise, and you just crumple to the ground immediately, no response.
Yeah, so you fill up your entire box with bashing damage, and then the extra 3 that goes over turns into lethal at the very top.
Yeah.
All right, you heard a crunch noise. Next round begins, because that was your round there.
Has everything exploded at this point?
Yes.
And she's fighting. Okay.
So,
So she's going to. Which one of you? Both of you roll me appearance intimidation to determine which of the two of you she's going to attack next.
So target number 6.
Yeah.
Two.
2.
Both got 2 successes.
Yep.
Which one of you has a higher appearance?
2.
4.
All right, Torel. You can at least try to stop her. She swings this umbrella at you.
Okay.
What do you do in response?
I mean, she's gonna try to grab it and
So you're just gonna try to
push it away.
All right, so you can roll
Dexterity and brawl.
dexterity and brawl. Yep.
I don't think I have brawl. I don't.
You can use melee. It's melee, not brawl.
Melee either.
Don't have melee.
All right.
We
Well,
also don't have any martial arts. You have no combat skills,
Nope. Nope.
except just like a single dot of firearms. So you can roll your dexterity.
yeah, you
Try
can
and get
roll
out of the way.
dexterity to try to avoid getting struck by this umbrella.
Okay.
I guess this is kind of
Just
what
keep rolling
happens when you
tens.
split the party into group that can do combat and group that can't do combat.
2 successes.
2. Yeah. 2
Alright.
successes.
All right, does not compete with her. Wow, she rolled really well there. Want to roll to soak some damage?
Sure.
That'll
What
just
am I?
be, you're not wearing any armor, so it'll just be your stamina.
Yep.
Although you can, if you want to, you can roll a life spell to, and however many successes you get will increase your soak roll by that much.
Yeah, I want to do that.
So
Alright, cast your life spell.
Roll life and arete. So 6 dice.
That's much better than
Every success increases your soak roll by 1. 1, 2, 3,
4.
4 successes. So you can add an extra 4 dice to your soak roll.
All right.
Okay.
So roll stamina plus 4.
Which will be 8 dice. No, wait, that's your appearance.
Stamina's 2, I believe.
6 dice.
6 dice. So roll 6 dice. You might not get knocked straight out.
Not bad, actually. You're looking for 6s.
4.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. You go to exactly incapacitated and get knocked straight out.
Just fill the entire set of boxes with bashing damage.
All right, Skylar. What do you do?
Alright.
This woman just spun around and almost instantly knocked both of them out with this umbrella.
Do you have something?
And she's coming at you.
Wonderful.
You have a stun gun?
No.
Oh.
I just have a regular gun,
That works.
which I don't want to kill her.
Why not?
But,
I mean, you can always. You're probably not going to kill with one shot anyway.
I mean, I might get a really good shot.
Well, that's okay.
The world of darkness can be unintentionally lethal.
But
I will.
Do you want to just brain blaster if you have enough mind?
I can do that now. Because with my level, with my experience last game, I was able to up mine for that.
Yeah, if you just want to roll a mind spell to try and brain blaster for bashing damage or something, I don't know.
Would I, with mind and time, would I be able to have her see the future and make her doubt, or make her potentially see the time when the others are
Absolutely.
and make her think like maybe these guys are legit? And,
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good idea. I like it.
Alright,
See the
so-
future!
At the very least, it'll be very disorienting.
Now you too can see the future!
So that's 60.
5 quick purchases. Payments of $9.95.
I can see the future! This is super vulgar magic, by the way, because you're using it on a sleeper.
1.
Got one
You
success.
think you are,
Yeah.
at least.
Oh, no, I'm just trying to. I'm doing it to try to make her doubt her own decision. So
Yeah, nope. Her willpower resists your mind spell entirely as you try to do that, and
darn.
her eyes get real big for a second, and with renewed force.
Don't die.
Good thing she's not a mage hunter.
He's gonna show up while I'm dead.
Oh, we're gonna be knocked
There's a
out.
lot of hunters on this island.
3. 2 of which are native. One's an import. 3. Also, and there's a lot of other supernatural things on an island.
Hunters tend to show up.
Alright, she swings the umbrella at you. What do you have to defend yourself?
I mean, I have armor.
Do you have brawl or melee to try to avoid getting hit?
No, I do not.
And you're
Is there
just
a die
rolling your
over there?
melee. Are you just rolling your dexterity to try to dodge?
You die?
Okay.
They're dying over there somewhere.
Oh,
Yes, there is.
Ah.
I mean, you could roll ridiculously well. She actually rolls really poorly.
Is she a Malleus Maleficarum beating these people with the wrench of St. Michael?
Well, that's when I roll even worse, so.
Or in this case, the umbrella of St. Michael. I just love the artwork on that benediction as a wrench.
That's only one.
She's not associated with Saint Michael. roll me stamina and armor.
What's the armor? So just the rating?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
It's like the vengeful sword of Saint Michael the Archangel. This is one of the benedictions the hunter can do that just turns a random object into a weapon. Afterwards, the weapon explodes because it can't take that much holy energy. But
Okay.
3.
You got 3?
Yep.
Alright, you take 4 points of damage. So you're pulling yourself off the ground, and you hear the sounds of somebody getting their skull beaten in by a large blunt wooden object.
oh man,
As you're walking back towards the group, the two of you,
we should hurry up.
Start running.
you run.
Is Yaren with them?
Yeah, Yaren starts sprinting. As you sprint by, you hear a crack, and you see Elizabeth bash the daylights out of Skylar, who reels but doesn't quite go down on the ground like the two other concussed individuals. Immediate reactions?
I just need to get person to stop being on the offensive. So I would like. She's probably got really good stamina. I would like to Dragon Tail Sweep.
You run in to do that, and Yaren shouts out, "Hold on, everything's fine." Elizabeth looks over. Yaren,
This Yaren.
they were... That's all.
We told you.
I'm gonna let Hazel know you're coming, she says, and she turns around and walks away with a finger to her temple.
I
tackle her anyway.
You're gonna tackle her?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna go bull rush her, but then when she stops, I'm just gonna go set up and punch her.
He's like,
just
stop that.
Just to
Sure, roll me a brawl.
cut it out. Because just gonna knock her once. 6.
Alright, roll me strength athletics.
Strength athletics.
Mm-hmm. To see how good of a push you get on her.
Oh, okay.
Because you certainly got her.
Oh, okay. 3.
You're big, but she's also
I know.
big.
Yeah, we're about the same.
Like, you get a good push on her, but she just takes it and looks at you, gives you this.
Well, I've got about 20 pounds and 1 inch on her, essentially.
Yeah.
And I had
Well,
running, and I had a running start.
you've got a lot of pounds on her because you actually have, like,
Right. Well, yes.
nutrition.
Yeah, probably about 40 pounds, but anyway.
she
She was
glares
standing
at you
still.
and keeps walking.
So I step over to.
Yaren's already leaned down and. Shock. Yaren has life magic.
I mean, we're Akashic. Life is good for us.
Alright, Dave, 5 points back.
And I will walk over to Tarell and just kind of like take a minute.
So that means that, like, what happens exactly?
It's all brawling damage, so 5 of your damage goes away.
Well, you have 2 points.
3 of it
2
was
points
lethal.
3 points. of
3,
lethal.
so those go away first, and then you go up
Yeah,
to...
so the lethal downgrades to bashing first, and then your bashing starts to go away.
You go up to mauled.
Ow.
Meanwhile, Akuma kind of steps over to Tarell and just kind of takes a second to breathe in and sort of center himself, and then presses both hands onto her abdomen, and then just ha! And will use his own life magic.
You. 1, 2, 3. You heal 4 points of bashing damage.
Okay. What does that do?
So that goes away, that goes away, that goes away, that goes away. You would be at injured.
Injured. Okay, I can deal with that.
So how does this work? Because I wasn't here.
So basically, damage tracks from the top down,
Yeah.
and then when bashing damage fills up, all of the bashing damage that starts at the top turns into lethal and continues down.
Okay.
Basically, when you get filled up to bashing damage here, you're knocked out.
Yeah.
When you get filled up to lethal damage here, you die.
Okay. And I took 4, you said, right?
Yeah. Which is why bashing damage is 1 slice, lethal damage is the X, and then aggravated damage is the X with a vertical line.
Okay.
To signify that it is worse than lethal damage. Obviously, if aggravated damage fills up to the end, you also die, but more horrifically.
You die, and they have to get someone in to identify the body.
Basically. Because aggravated damage is like fire.
Yeah, that finger looked like him.
Or losing limbs, I'm sure.
Yeah. Fire, particularly powerful magic, stuff like that.
Alright.
If you're a werewolf, silver does aggravated damage to you.
Being
So,
exploded, I'm sure, would count.
depending.
Alright, so is everybody conscious again?
Yes.
Good. Sorry about that. Elizabeth can be rather rash.
Of
And
course, that was
overprotective
her.
of her little brother.
You'll be fine in a couple of
Her
hours.
little brother.
Yes, let me introduce you to Adriel, sometimes known as the Blind Beggar.
Oh, that's who that is.
Yes.
Great. So if he's a little brother, just by size or by age,
Yes.
he's a punk kid.
I wouldn't say punk kid.
He's a punk.
He's actually...
He's a big punk.
You've never actually met him before, but like this is the most benevolent gang ever.
The rats are good people. And I say that with your definition of good people.
They're literally come all who need help, and we will keep you safe and fed.
They are the humanitarian aid, where the black dragons are the underground resistance.
Yeah. Like, you say you're just here for survival. They're legitimately just here for survival.
Yeah.
Yeren leads you towards the center of the factory, and you begin seeing a lot of homeless people. And they've got sort of this network set up in the ceiling, and you see there's lots of water barrels around. You notice that as you get into the factory, there's lights on, but there should not be any electricity going to this place at this time. This is one of the regions of the city that does not have 24-hour electricity. There shouldn't be any electricity here right now, but there is. You hear the sounds of a generator running in the distance, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeren steps forward. Adriel, he says, and you see a kid with an oversized hoodie on. You can't really see any of his features. You can see he's got, like, from his hands, he's got that dark Carolinian skin. But as Yeren says his name, he looks up and pulls the hood back. He's dirty, but more in like a greasy sort of been-in machine sort of way. And, by the way, Zachary, I would like you to roll me intelligence. Do you have any sort of, like, enigmas, occult, academics, any sort of...
I have
knowledge?
academics. Let's see, I have occult and I have academics.
Occult might be a little better, I guess. Yeah, go ahead and roll me intelligence occult.
Cool.
And you notice that his eyes are solid white.
2 successes, assuming difficulty 6.
You're looking around the room and you see there's a water purifier over in the corner that's the most elaborate distillery ever. The generator is ridiculous. This boy is a son of ether. Like, he's got these absurd Rube Goldberg steampunk machines running this place.
Nice.
Kuma sort of steps forward and looks the kid in the face and just kind of puts one hand out, fist in the other hand, and bows deeply and just in Carolinian says, "I appreciate the help you've given to my men when they needed it."
Oh, we just want to help anybody who's going through, as long as they don't mean harm. We just want to be a refuge. We know lots of people need them.
It means a lot.
Yeah. Well, as long as they don't mean harm, they're always welcome to swing by here if they're in trouble. Elizabeth looks annoyed at this.
If you ever need backup, the Black Dragons are on your side.
Yes, well, Yaren's been pretty good about making sure that no one messes with us. Yaren chuckles. Kid, you're pretty good at making sure no one messes with you. Not to mention, your sister could probably win a staring contest with a gargoyle. Elizabeth looks not amused.
You have to forgive my companions. None of them speak Carolinian.
Oh, my English is really bad.
You want me to translate?
If you would.
Sure.
So we'll assume that Akuma's translating everything that goes back and
Cool.
forth.
None of you have seen Akuma this reverent or respectful to anyone.
Yeah. You notice that the homeless people around here, so it's weird. As you've gotten towards the center here, in the poorer districts of town, there's always a strong sulfur smell because the water is not properly cleaned. People don't drink the water unless they're in the capital district, and even then, it's iffy. But that smell is gone. It actually smells pretty fresh around here. You'd think all the smoke and steam pouring out of those machines would do something, but it smells quite nice. Fresh, open. You see there's a large freezer in the center of the area that's running off this generator that, again, when Gilda makes things work, they're kind of reasonable. They work too well. These have, fantasy physics operating them. That you can respect as a son of Ether.
I'm just sort of looking over the intricacies of how they all work.
So, what did you need to talk about? He says.
Which Akuma will translate everything.
Here it says, it might be best to speak in private, Adriel. Yes, Elizabeth. I know you're coming. Oh, pardon my sister. She said that there's another hunter on the island and she's been overly wary ever since.
At which point, Akuma, after translating that, turns back around. Yes, Yaren and Duncan and I had a run-in with him as the rest of our group was trying to head to talk to you.
Elizabeth will narrow her eyes. So he was near.
He was close. Well, that's difficult to say, all things considered, but yes.
He's good. He's real good. He's a mage hunter, too.
We've had a run-in with him before as well.
He said that. She very specifically said that bit in English.
Yeah.
But here, she walks the rest of you into what looks like it used to be a sidelong office, but right now it's just sort of a bunker for dry food storage, pantry, if you will. We can talk in here.
Rest of you?
Also, anybody with occult can roll me intelligence occult upon getting a better look at Elizabeth in the light.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 4 successes.
3.
Which might make sense.
What's the difficulty?
6.
Nice. 5 successes.
3.
And is anybody here Catholic?
By denomination, at the very least.
Is anybody here actually Catholic, their character? You go to a Catholic church, right?
Huh?
Your character goes to a Catholic church. What about you, any of you? Okay.
You,
I go to the largest Catholic church in the city.
Yes, but...
But, you know,
And he was at least raised with that knowledge, whether or not he cares about it.
So all of you who have a cult recognize that she does have a hunter's logo on her. You, Akuma, know that this is one of the hunter groups associated with the Catholic Church. And do you have academics by chance, Skylar? Or esoterica?
No, I do not.
You just roll me intelligence then.
All right. With the minus or
The -1, but it's only difficulty 6.
one.
It's a saint's mark. It's definitely a mark of one of the saints of the Catholic Church, but you can't remember without any cross-reference. You could probably look it up if you wanted to, though.
Okay.
Will you do so or not bother right now?
Yeah, no.
Okay. All right. So, you worried about this hunter? Is that all?
No, we've got other things to worry about, particularly who he's working for.
And who would that be? Says Adriel.
Adriel, have you seen any of your men behaving strangely, going off, doing random things in the city, coming back with your memory of it?
They're not really my men, you know. They're just people who
Have you
stay
seen
here.
Have you seen any of your friends disappear for a bit and come back not remembering where they were at?
Well, unfortunately, that's not abnormal. You do know where we are, right?
That's fair. But there's a mage of powerful mental capability manipulating people throughout the city to do her work for her.
I don't know that we're really of any use to her.
She took a random supervisor from a what was for one of Joatan's warehouses, just
Yeah.
for tasks she needed. It's anyone she can potentially make use of.
Well, I don't know much about so you're all
We're all awakened, yes.
okay. Mages?
Mm-hmm.
All of you? A lot of mages. Elizabeth looked at it. That's why he's here, isn't it? You brought the hunter here.
No, our friend did. He's working for her.
Yes, but he wouldn't be here if there wasn't a giant group of mages on my doorstep.
Well, it wasn't our fault.
He was tracking us, yes.
Look, do you know how much danger there is on this island?
There's
First-
a lot, and we're trying to get rid of some of it.
You remember the vampire, right?
Yes.
Hmm?
Okay. He used to be a vampire. Roamed around here for several years. I don't know what happened to him. He vanished a few months ago.
No, I heard a lot about that one. My lieutenant is in the vigil as well.
What order?
She serves Knights of St. Adrian.
Oh. What does she hunt?
Mostly demons, which is why she's really interested in this one.
What order is he?
Casting it, from what she said.
Oh, that's not good. They're insane.
That's what I've gathered.
so are you.
You know I could call the police on you.
We got one.
Who else got Yaren?
Yaren looked over confused. Do I need to know something? Yeah, he was like stalking me. Aaron looks over at you confused. Do I need to know something?
She's been missing work, calling out, and I was suspecting that she was being manipulated by this mind freak, and that's why we're here.
Alright, Sure, why not? Good an explanation as any. Elizabeth still does not seem to appreciate this.
She'll get over it. Or die with it, one. Or...
Look, is William safe? Says Yaren. Yeah, I've been checking on him. He's fine. Good. I don't suppose you can convince him to stick around here, can you? Well, that would be difficult. Yeah, I suppose with his father. Well, in any case, pressing matters. Adriel, what have your men seen? They're not my men.
Your friends.
I mean, I suppose lots of strange things have been reporting up. A lot of my friends can go through the city and people don't pay any attention to them. They see weird things. Usually means something's up, but we're not really high enough in anybody's ladder to pay much attention to. What are you looking for in particular?
Excavation.
Excavation.
People digging around the mountain.
I might be able to help you with that. Yeah. Yeah, Aiden said that there was a spot in the mountains, place where he likes to sit, and it had been disturbed by some sort of machinery, but he never saw anything go by.
They've got magic to keep it hidden.
Well, of course they do. You don't just start excavating a mountain and no one notices.
Yeah. Speaking of not noticing things, Elizabeth, why have you been missing days of work? From what I understand, that's not normal for you.
Because there's a mage hunter, and my little brother's a mage.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Not much a fan of all these supernatural things living on this island.
Your brother's one of them.
Yeah. Also, kinda you. Like, you do that weird stuff. It's Catholic tradition. Yeah, but that's not how it works for most people.
I mean, my lieutenant has supposedly divine tattoos. They still do strange things.
Plus, there was that one time we don't talk about that. Yes, sister. Now, you're looking for excavation stuff and you're worried about the mental influence of people around the city. We'll look out for you if Yara will speak for you. Keep an eye out and keep you informed. How do you want to be notified?
If you let any of the Black Dragons know that you've got a message for Akuma from the rats, they'll deliver it to me, and I can disperse it. Otherwise, you get into contact with Yaren. Yaren can contact all of us.
All right. Now I have to figure out how to tell a bunch of people to look out for supernatural things without causing a panic. It's like the vampire incident all over again. By the way, if you see any bodies on the ground that are drained of blood, let me know.
Hozuki might be more of a help with that one. Quite frankly, that's not my field of expertise.
Right. So, keep you appraised of anything weird going on. I'll go ask Aiden about his site, see if he can show you to it.
That'd help. And again, if the rats need anything from the Black Dragons, don't hesitate to ask.
Alright. I have one favor for you, though.
Go on.
Stop bringing dangerous things here.
I will do my damnedest.
Good. And if you see that hunter, if you could end him.
I tried to. That was part of the problem. He's working for this mind mage, so she placed an illusion of him to distract us from him, which was conveniently sitting on top of C4.
That was that explosion.
Yeah.
This place is falling apart enough without demolitions. I can fix it, sister. It's not that big a deal. Yes, you can go to the area where it was already booby-trapped and work magic on it. No, we're not doing that, Adriel. It's enough that you keep this place running. Okay, he says.
Speaking of Yaren, how are you going to convince people that a C4 detonation in the middle of the slums was nothing big?
Oh, they won't worry about it.
I shouldn't have been guessing otherwise.
You've got my police force, right?
Yes. One of them's right here.
Yes, the competent one.
That's fair.
I guess they won't worry about it the same way they don't worry about the Claymore.
Why do you keep harping on the Claymore, he says, and he winks at you.
My point exactly.
Yeah, why do you have a Claymore? Says
Elizabeth Rachel.
Adriel. That seems unnecessary. Elizabeth looks at him. Why wouldn't he have one? I've got an umbrella.
Makes sense to me.
Adriel seems very confused. Alright, well, if you're done being a magnet for this hunter...
That one doesn't stop, unfortunately.
If you're done being a magnet for this hunter in my home...
We'll leave.
Thank you.
So, Elizabeth, do you want to...
Let's just leave. I just leave before I hear whatever his question is.
Are you going to be out for a while? Do you want me to try to set up what is it? Shoot, I had it in my
Picking up
second
your
ago.
shifts or
No.
Leave of absence. Vacation time.
Yeah, something. Oh, shoot. I got my wording went there. Long term.
Vacation?
Not vacation. A leave of absence.
Yeah,
I'm going to set up a leave of absence at
Depends on
work
how
for
long
you.
you think it'll take you to solve this problem. I'll be back when there's
As soon
a
as-
mage hunter tracking people down.
Okay. I'll just try to keep people. I'll keep abreast of what they're talking about at the office and make sure that you're okay with being out for an extended period of time if you need to.
Alright.
See you later. Bye.
Then Akuma bows one more time to Adriel and heads out.
Alright. The rest of you head out.
you.
Yeah.
I showed Dr. Dave my boo-boo. I got a fragment.
Oh, speaking of, and Akuma kind of takes a breath and slams himself in the chest, and he's gonna heal himself.
Well, I just need one.
That was 4 successes on healing him.
Okay, I'm back to normal.
I heal myself.
Since I've already been healed, I assume I can't.
Can't do it again.
Great.
Heal someone can be
I mean-
healed once per scene.
There's one way to break that rule. That Torel knows.
Terrell. Yeah. Go to the clockwork place.
Actually, there's a second way to break that rule.
Would I know what it is, and would I know enough about it to know that I should never
How
do it?
injured are you looking?
Right now, I've got. I'm down to. I'm down 5.
4 or 5.
How down are you, Torel?
I'm just down 2, I believe.
Bashing damage heals very quickly. You heal a point of bashing every half hour.
Every hour.
Every hour?
Every hour?
Oh yeah, I'm just down
okay.
5
1, 2,
bashing.
3, 4, 5, 6, overnight.
Hold on, says Elizabeth right before you leave. She puts a hand on your shoulder and then begins chanting in Latin as she does a rosary. And as she speaks, your wounds start vanishing.
Hands of St. Luke.
Can I recognize what's going on right now?
She's saying some sort of Catholic prayer. And you get back 5 health.
Lay on hands, nice.
And like you feel inspired and like this feels it feels good in like a just an esoteric good sense.
So lay on hands.
Yeah, basically.
Hands of St. Luke is a good benediction.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
She's got a few.
Hunters are good, man.
Yeah. Tell you try to use magic on her. She's actually pretty garbage against mages who want to hurt her.
Yeah.
She's a vampire hunter.
Most Melee's Maleficarum are just like general purpose unholy thing hunters.
Yeah.
They're not so good against werewolves or mages.
Alright. So, anyway. It's, by this point, pretty late evening. Bjorn will have to drive you all to your respective homes. In his... Well, he'll drive you to your car. Any of you have anything else to do for the night?
What time is it after?
It's about 9.
I'm sure Gilda's still up, right?
Oh, yeah. Gonna hang out and get some more quintessence?
Yeah, I gotta get another minute of that.
Cool.
I'll do that.
Alright. You've got stuff to do, I'm sure.
Yeah, I have to first check out if any patrols have reported back, and then go on patrol myself and see if Raz is making a name for himself again.
Torel?
She'll just go get Kai.
Okay. Anything else you're doing?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
And then, what about you, Dave?
I'm curious about this particular world's incarnation of Tarn.
You gonna go to the Clockworks?
I'm not going to go there, but
Oh, come on.
like I think this will probably be something more so for the future, but I just kind of want to keep an eye out, keep an ear out for people who just mention that. Like, does this clock shop have some kind of a reputation to it, to people who aren't magical?
For being really expensive and really fancy.
Yeah, like, these are pieces of art, they're prestigious, people pay absurd amounts of money for them.
But there's not any kind of a shady reputation associated with the place.
No, not at all. Like, the to own a timepiece that was made by him speaks to the highest level of taste and wealth. There are more expensive watches, there are more decadent watches, but there aren't better watches. And if you have like a full-size clock in your house, like...
You're the best of the best, as far as social category goes.
Yeah. His, like, from what you can gather, his stuff can run to the millions of dollars.
And at the minimum is several thousand.
Oh yeah.
How far away is his place from where I would be?
Not terribly.
On one hand, I kind of want to like walk by just to see what kind of crazy magical horrors are going on. But on the other hand, I kind of don't want to get anywhere near that place just in case somehow he manages to acquire my identity from it.
Or just in case tonight is the night it finally explodes.
I'm in the blast radius anyway. Everybody on this island will like turn into a sheep as soon as he goes. And we'll have a second New Zealand.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Not enough Kiwis.
Who knows?
For now, not really a whole lot, then.
Okay. And Skylar?
What was I gonna do? Before I get dropped, as he drops me off, I'm gonna ask you're in the if he knows anyone that specializes in spirit.
Spirit magic.
I have spirit magic.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh,
Could you teach me?
yes.
Sure.
None of the group knows any of it. It might be useful to have.
I could show you a thing or two. Easiest place to teach would be Suicide Cliff, late at night.
That's actually perfect.
Sure. We'll go tonight if you're up for it.
Yeah. And I'm guessing Galadier's probably still there.
Probably.
It's
But-
probably going to be there at some point.
That is where we will pick up next time. So, next time will not be next week. Next Sunday we will not be meeting, so it'll be the week after that. All of the rest of our content will, of course, be up as normal. So, until next time, say goodbye, everybody.
Farewell.
Bye.